Okay. But I can absolutely promise you that it's going nowhere other than to you three, okay? And obviously, with bearing that in mind, just don't share it outside of here, because it's your own personal stuff that we'll be discussing. So let's go to then the first slide. So bear with me and we shall see if we can do this. So it is share and it's click on that. Right, I need to know if you can all see my screen in a moment. So just bear with me. Right, I've lost me. There's my mouse. Okay. Pardon?
Sorry, I've got a squirrel next to me and she wants to be fed. I'm so sorry, everybody.
Just put your thing on mute for me for the moment.
Okay.
And then you can feed the squirrel as much as you like. Right, girls, can you see the presentation?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any grey boxes anywhere?
There's two. Yeah.
Right. I don't know how to get rid of them, so just bear with me. Right. Because I can't see any grey boxes. Is anything on the presentation covered up for you?
Only on the right hand side where the boxes now come together as one like L shape.
Right.
But
okay, hang on, let
to
me
the side.
Right, that's that. Okay. More hide floating meter controls. Right, has that gone?
No, it's kind of changed it to like in the middle of the page.
Right.
One of them's gone. Oh.
Right. I've asked it to come.
Yeah.
Can you see the left-hand side?
Yeah.
That's what I need. Okay, so and you've got your booklets in front of you as well, correct?
Yeah.
Right, lovely. Okay, let's see how this goes. So your workbook is your own private space, yeah? So there are no right or wrong answers as we go through this, but I do want you to be honest with yourselves, yeah? We are going to go at your pace and we're going to take 2 programmed breaks, but if you need any kind of break, then just take it, okay? What I want us to do before we start is think about what your intention is for today. What is it that you would like to get out of today's workshop? So it might be, I just want to keep an open mind and I just want more clarity. It could be, I want to revisit why I may be stuck. So is it one of the survival modes that we go into because of the trauma that we've gone through? And the trauma could be, Domini, that it is the loss of your mum. Yeah. It's the loss of that relationship. It could be that you've got more time in your life now because you haven't got that looking after your mum taking up your life. Yeah. And equally for Grace and Karlea, it could be something is coming into your life that's overriding everything else, and that is the thing that you need to have more clarity around. And equally, if you don't know, it could just be a big question mark until the end.
Okay.
But what we're going to look at today is all of our survival patterns, the stress bucket, body awareness and how the body actually holds on to that stress, and the 7 pillars of the cleaner framework that Grace and Karlea have worked through, and Domini I've touched upon in our one-to-ones. Yeah. It's all about the mindset. It's all about the nutrition. It's all about the stress management, but not in detail that we did on the 8-week program, Karlea and Grace, but equally it will be it will come back to you. So just writing that intention down and knowing that whatever is happening for you at the moment is you're not broken. You've never been broken. Okay. It's all about, you've been in that survival mode, and survival mode is the body's ability to adapt to keep you safe. That's all it is. There's nothing wrong with any of us. We're just at a place where we're at because our stress buckets have just become too full. And we will be looking at that in more detail. So if there's anything that comes up for you, do write it in the chat. And when I come out of presenting mode, I will check the chat and come back and answer your specific questions, if that's okay. Yeah?
Yeah.
So she says, now I've got no controls to move forwards. Now I have. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Lovely. So we've just done a bit of welcoming and housekeeping. And we're going to look at page 2 in your book. So these pages are corresponding to the pages in your booklet. So we're just going to have a look at survival patterns. What does this look like in your everyday life?
Mm-hmm.
The impact of it on all areas of your life, the stress bucket, understanding your body's response, and maybe understanding the roots of some of the stuff that may be causing you the emotional eating, for example, Domini. And I know that Grace and Karlea may have had that as well. I know I've had that. So we're understanding the roots, the adverse childhood experiences, and then how does that turn up in the body and how you're living your everyday life. We're going to look at the Calming 5 toolkit. And then we've got those breaks either side. We're going to look at the cleaner framework and then a new activity for everybody, rebuilding your inner Ming jar. Okay, so we'll come to that when we come to that. And then what does breaking your cycle look like? And then a 7-day plan. All right, so that's what we're going to be covering today in that overview. Do any of you have any questions on any of that at the moment? Or do you think there's something there that maybe not there and should be there?
I think it's all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on. So we've got fight and flight, right? Which is our overdrive mode of survival. This is where we may feel confrontation, aggression, resistance to perceived threats. We've got the flight, which is the avoidance, and that is the running away, escaping, or avoiding situations. We've got shut down, becoming still, unable to move or think. And it's maybe shutting down completely as well for some of you. And then we've got our fawn, our people pleasing or appeasing others just to avoid the conflict or danger. And then we've got this thing called mix. And often it's a combination of all of the above, or you might be default into one thing at one time, default into something at another time. So, question for you right now, tick the boxes in your booklet. Which pattern feels most like you right now? So where do you think you are today? What is your default pattern? Or is it truly you feel that there's a mix of things going on? And what does that mix look like? And what the body picks as its default mode, you don't get to choose, okay? It is just how your body, your brain, your body responds. You don't get to pick. So when people say, oh, if that situation happened to me, I would have done X, Y, Z, they don't know until they're in that situation. You don't get a choice on how you respond. And equally, if you're saying to yourself or have said to yourself in the past, I should have done X, Y, Z, you can't. your body, your brain, your body, your alarm system picks for you. Yeah. But when we understand what our default mode is, we can then work with it to change it. So, for example, if we were in shutdown or people pleasing, so freeze, flop, fawn, if we identify we appease others to try and avoid conflict, that is us not being able to speak up for ourselves in whatever the scenario is. So if we're able to understand that, we can put boundaries in place, and then we can find ways of actually being able to speak up for ourselves, which is safe for us to do so. So that will be a change in our behavior patterns to enable us to allow us to put a boundary in place and then to speak up for ourselves. So if you want to, girls, let's just go around the room, literally, and then you just explain to me what you think your default behavior is, your default survival mode is, and why do you think that may be? Who wants to go first?
I can go
I'm
first.
happy. Oh, go on, you go first this time.
Oh, okay. I've put mixed apart from fight because I'm more avoiding situations, or if I am put in a situation, then I'm people pleasing, and I think because I grew up in a place of where I had to be silent, I couldn't talk about anything that was going on. I struggled to voice that. Now that I'm aware of what I've actually been through, I wasn't aware for quite a while. Um, and like I can give an example. It was my husband's birthday recently, and he had some of his family over, and I was going through freeze where I was just sort of sitting there and not being able to communicate with anybody, or I was trying to make sure everyone else was comfortable to the point of exhaustion. And then as soon as everyone left, I just emotionally broke down
Yeah,
because I just really overwhelmed myself, and I struggle to be around people because I don't know how I'm going to react
yeah.
in the moment.
Mm,
And before before I had, I suppose, my breakdown, I could do that because I had this mask up because I wasn't confronting anything. I didn't realize of all the stress that I was under, whereas now I'm so aware of it that
yeah,
it just comes out without me. Like you say, I've got no choice in the matter of how I'm going to feel in that moment. So yeah, I've just got a mix of sort of everything going on at the
yeah,
moment.
yeah, yeah. So usually when we've got a mix of stuff going on, it's almost like we've got to just try and unpick it a little bit to find out what is the one that has is the first instigator, the causal one, and then we can sort of like work it out because it's almost like you've got this family situation, you almost know it's going to be quite confrontational and you can't do nothing about it, but there's an expectation of you to be there. And then it's like you go, right, I've just got to get through it.
Yeah.
And then it's about keeping yourself safe, just getting through it. And then literally it's taken so much energy to turn up and be there and keep everything safe and online that when it's all done and dusted, it's just like complete flop.
Yeah, yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly like that.
And equally, if it's just like a one-off, then you can sort of like work towards that. But if it was like for me an every Sunday thing, eventually I learned to go, this ain't no good for me. I need to change this. And it was a process of, right, I need to now find my voice and say no more. And
Yeah,
then I found a different activity to do at that time. and I went off and did it. So that took me out of the situation. And then over time, I was able to go, oh, I'm really sorry, but I'm too busy. I can't do that anymore. And so I
Mm.
sort of like changed the dynamics of it.
Because I suppose that was the first time that I've sort of attended a
Yeah.
family event for a long while.
Mm-hmm.
I just stopped going to
Yeah.
anything. So I am trying to, I suppose, reintroduce myself
Yeah.
into certain situations, but I just find it so hard. I
Yeah.
just don't want to be there. And that
Yeah.
sounds awful because my husband's family, I've known them for like 20 odd years,
Yeah.
like
And they're good people, I'm
y-
assuming. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
But they also, I think they are struggling with the fact that I have changed so much because
Right.
I'm also getting to know myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also just obviously found out that I'm neurodivergent, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't know whether they truly believe
Right.
that as well. So it's this
Yeah.
constant again of going through my life of not being believed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Which is reinforcing your
Mm,
identity. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What I would sort of probably suggest in the future is if you can take yourself maybe not to a place where there's emotional ties, but to like a group of friends, for example, go out with them to enjoy yourself and keep it short
Mm,
duration and know that you're safe with that particular group of people, and then have a few of those positive experiences so that your brain and your body knows what it feels like to be safe again with the reintroduction of you in social situations. And then you can try those more family orientated
mm,
events,
yeah.
because sometimes we have to go backwards in order to go forwards.
Yeah. No,
Okay,
thank you.
just bear that
Yeah.
all in mind as we move through. Yeah. Domini, anything resonate with you? I know it's different circumstances, but there will be overlaps.
Well, for me, I mean, in the past, I've always heard about fight, flight, and freeze, but I've never heard of fawn. And I have always been 100% people pleaser. It doesn't matter how busy I am. It was the same at work. I had two massive burnouts at work in my 40s and 50s because I was always just helping everybody else, and and just letting the work pile up, and then just doing everything. I don't know. I've always been a people pleaser. Perhaps it does go back to my childhood of being brought up and being, be a good person, be a kind person, all the rest of it. But I think really, again, you need to have boundaries, Chris.
Yeah.
How sad that, I'm nearly 60 and I've only just kind of realised, but at least I have realised now.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm just a massive people pleaser. I still continue to do it. I mean, though my both of my grown up children have left home, if they want anything, I'm straight on it. My husband, any friends, it doesn't really seem to matter what I'm doing. If somebody asks me anything and they want it, I'll just do it straight away. And even my family, where they know I'm like that, especially my husband, he's really lovely, really understanding. He'll go, no, you don't need to do it now. But in my mind, I think my problem is I get really overwhelmed by things. So I have to keep on top of things. So even post coming in every day, I'll have to open it all up. Any bills that need to be paid, stuff needs to be filed away, etc. Um, yeah, I think they're obviously. I'm not. I don't know. Sometimes I feel I'm not normal at all because I just have to keep on top of everything,
Yeah.
and it's this dreadful perfectionism thing that I've got. Everything's got to be on. I don't know. I know I'm always striving to be perfect at everything, and I know that is a completely useless goal. And my problem is, I've always been like this. I'm all in or all out.
Yeah.
So obviously, with the weight thing or exercising, I'm either all in, really fantastic healthy eating. Gosh, I could do it for a couple of years, and then something will happen, and then I'll just think that's it. I've ruined it now, and then I just go on a downward spiral, and it's ridiculous. Actually, saying it out loud it just sounds so crazy. But I don't know, when you
It's
get into
just what happens.
it is, and when you get into those situations, you can't see. With my burnouts at work, I couldn't see the ridiculous amount of work I was being given. And when I think back now, there was probably quite an element of bullying with a couple of bosses I had, because I just take on more and more, and I'd be working ridiculous long hours. I don't even want to say the hours I was working, and I had a family at home to look after, and it was just awful, really. If I think about it, I would have thought I'd have learned once, but the fact I went through it twice with two different bosses. But yeah, I just think some people, perhaps even if it's subconscious, they know how to manipulate you, unfortunately, and I just can't see that. I've always done things at work, not to gain anything, but just to help. I was always a very big team player. Always want
Yeah,
to help people. It wasn't to progress or anything like that. It was just to do a good job, you know?
yeah. When you had that burnout though, and when you're trying to people please, did you ever feel like people were taking from you?
Um, yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, I guess they probably were. I don't know if I felt it. I mean, in the end, I couldn't go to work. Even though I was kind of signed off.
Yeah,
Uh, I was in that state both times where I thought I should go back, that I was perfectly all right, even though I'd be coming home, I'd just be crying all the time. And then things that I enjoy doing, like being out in my garden, I even went off of that. I just didn't even
yeah,
do that anymore. I actually saw that as the pressure, because everyone thinks I've got a lovely garden. So then I felt the pressure rather than enjoying doing it. I felt the pressure that, oh my goodness, if anyone comes around and there's a weed or it doesn't look nice somewhere. And I went off of that as well,
where
completely.
where do you think this perfectionism that you've got and this keeping on top of everything comes from?
Right. I think it comes from, because my mum was a one parent family in the 60s. And she was originally going to have me adopted. She didn't. She kept me. But I think, and especially because my mum was a very staunch Catholic, I think, I know it sounds ridiculous again these days, but it was really sinful. And my mum,
Yeah, it was back then.
we couldn't go to Ireland for the first 19 years of my life because, oh, one of my uncles, he wasn't happy about it. So it was as though I didn't exist, kind of thing. But
Yeah,
my mum was brilliant. She explained that's how people are. And then we did go over when I was 19, and I love all my family over there now. It's fantastic. I don't resent it. I've got no
yeah,
resentment, because I know that was just a time of how it
yeah,
was. But I think my mum had a thing of really cleaning and stuff, and I think it's because she just felt she'd done something really bad and she could never quite put it right, even though I think she knew there was, obviously she got to realize that it wasn't bad, maybe deep down, and that's kind of affected me as well, because I
yeah,
have to show, for my mum's sake, that I have got a great marriage and perfect children and all the rest to make her happy. I think, if I really think about it, I think it kind of
yeah.
stems going back to that, not in an awful way.
No, no, no,
And my
no.
mum never meant it, but I
Yeah,
just picked that up. And my mum would say
yeah,
to me, she'd say to me, "You're doing too much. Why? Sit down, sit down."
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I just wanted to be perfect all the time.
Yeah, yeah. So for me, in my experience, the perfectionism comes from a place of where you're trying to be in control because you want in control of other things.
Yeah,
And even though your mum was a lovely person in your life and there was lots of love and everything, the fact that she said, like, nearly gave you away, or there was pressure to do that, from your
yeah,
perspective, subconsciously, there's going to be an abandonment thing there. So if I do everything perfectly, if I do this and do that, then I'm good, I'm worthy.
yeah. I'd never really thought about it before, but I guess you're right. Yeah, I'd never really thought about that. And my mum always used to joke as well about how she really wanted a boy. And
Yeah,
I never used to
yeah,
worry about that at all. And then
yeah,
I'd met someone once on the bus, and we were just chatting, because people always ask about my name, and I always go, well, my mum had chosen Dominic because she was going to have a boy. She was convinced, and then I came along and ended up with Domini, which I love my name. And I know my mum truly loved me and everything, but
yeah,
this stranger on a bus, this was only a few years ago, said to me, "That's not a very nice thing to say." And I never actually realised that. I just thought it was acceptable, to be honest. And
And
I,
you know, for
yeah,
me, sorry, Dominic, for me, there's families where we're not getting our needs met at all. Okay.
yeah.
And you can see that from what Grace, Karlea, and I share.
Mm.
And equally, you feel that you had your needs met, but then there are these subtle boundaries and attachments that have always been subconsciously
Yeah,
challenged, and you've not been aware of them. And sometimes things can be said in jest and not meant to be harmful, but equally there's something on a subconscious level within us that is always trying to prove that we are worthy to be here.
yeah, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Just
So just
different
bear that
one.
in mind as we go through the rest of the
Okay.
slides. Yeah. Because
Okay.
what I'm trying to do is get each of us to tap into what it is that could be causing where we are right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, it may be right, it may not be right, but equally after this, you might go, oh my God, I didn't realize that
Mm.
happened and I've suppressed it and da 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 da. But equally, you can go, you could think, no, actually, no, I feel all right about that. I know that it was come from a place of just jest and love, but
Mm.
equally, I'm not going to allow it to affect me in the same way.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, does
Yeah.
that make
It does. It
sense?
makes
Yeah.
sense.
Okay. Grace.
Gosh, it's really tricky. My brain's just been going because I mean, it was nice hearing the process of both you ladies. I guess processing out loud and talking about it. It's just difficult to say because this is probably part of me having perfectionistic tendencies is that I struggle like it needs to be I need to know I can't how am I going to share something with you if I'm not going to share like if it's not exactly that thing then it's hard for me
Okay.
to like stand by it but I'm just going to try my best anyway.
Okay.
Definitely I think I would say maybe that the avoidance, shutdown, and people pleasing, but I think the core one is probably avoidance in the form of dissociation. Could that
Right.
is that?
Yeah, 100%.
And then because I'm dissociated or I that's where I shut down and my brain's just not working. So I'm around people, for example, and I'm not talking, and and then I've got this other like then I have quite a real like really harsh inner critic. I think that's just
Right.
like
Yeah.
even now if I express myself too much and I've not done it in a way that pleases this perfectionistic part of me, then it's going to berate me. So it's almost like then I don't want to express because I almost know that that part's waiting to like come in and pull me up on how I've expressed myself if I was too much or if it was just too
Yeah.
confusing or I'm not doing it in a way that really suits, you know?
Yeah.
And then I think the people pleasing can sort of come in when I think it's more of an off guard sort of response for me where maybe I'm caught off guard by something that I don't have the ability to handle because it's like just throwing me off a little bit. I mean, I think it was more prominent when I was younger and growing up because I was, you know, it might have been that I was around people that I was a bit like scared of. If I said the wrong thing, then maybe that they would definitely, you know, the area I grew up in, the people I grew up around, like I wasn't as confrontational, but I was around people that were. So if you stepped out of that, then people were quick to, you know, so it's sort of that and my brain's just gone. But
It's
even
fine.
just
It's
like a
fine.
situation yesterday, like at work, there's this man that I'm just sort of like he works as a part of like the system I'm in as a part of the college and the training part, and everything was going well. I sort of feel a bit about him anyway. And then towards the end of the day, he said because it's in a hospital, and he was just like I saw like this old woman. She was asking to see the gynecologist, and I just laughed to myself and thinking you're a bit old to like see the gynecologist. And I just sort of I looked at him, but I laughed. That like just gave that sort of appeasing. But then I thought, why wouldn't an old woman go and see a guy? Like that's just a really weird comment, and he's got a tendency to make weird comments like that. But in that moment, I just like because it just caught me. I was just I couldn't react fast enough to go what, like, so I just gave that sort of response. But that's just one example anyway. But to come back, I suppose, I guess it is just the avoidance and the shutdown that most impacts me, because I feel like it just becomes hard to think and to speak. And I think I think what I think I need more regular outlets for things, and I need to be expressing stuff more, because I think that's one thing that gets me is if I feel something or I think something, and then I sort of, rather than it become an external process of me talking about it and like just like, you know, or doing something with it, it's becoming a bit stuck. And then I think that's where I just sort of, you know, and I've noticed that when I have a space or something to sort of get it out, and then my brain, it's almost like my system starts up and running again. It's like I just get these cogs, and then it's like stop and start and stop and start, because I'm just bottling something, or not even realizing I'm doing that either. It's just I think I'm just someone, I just think a lot and I feel a lot, and it might be that I'm in a situation and I catch on to something, and because I've caught onto that thing, and then I sort of go into and I think about it, and then I sort of, and it just that the situation has moved on, but it's caught my system in a way that it's made me it's just done something to me. And that happens with people, and I struggle with people like this is, and it's, I don't know, it's easier, especially when you are around people that you can't fully be yourself with. And that's a lot of people for me. It's not, I don't really have many people in my life where I feel completely like I can express this, and this, or I can be honest with you about you, because I, you know, I do have like I don't know, when you're around people, it's, I sort of pick up on things about people, and it's quite difficult to like, you know, yeah, I just find people quite difficult, to be honest with you. I do find it difficult, because I do have a desire, because I want to be honest, and I do want something that to be in relationship to people that feels, you know, real and authentic and genuine. But I have my limits and stuff like that. But it just, I don't know.
I think
I'm making sense.
you're making complete sense. The dissociation is just your brain's way of going, this is just too much at the moment and I just can't deal with it, so I'm just going to zone out, and then everything's going to be all right. Okay. And all of these have their place, but if it's stopping you from living your life, then you've got to drill down and find out what is actually going on. But the inner critic thing is a major problem or a challenge, because you don't deserve all of that stuff that
constant
your brain
sometimes, you know.
And usually, Grace, that is an ADHD thing. It can be as well. I don't know if Karlea's going to agree with me or not, but equally it can be something that does come from past traumas, because if you've been told something over and over again, and that is being played out by a physical thing over and over again, then your body, your brain has learned that to shut up, to disassociate, to keep you safe. And that the challenge is to connect and challenge within yourself the inner critic. So if your inner critic's going, you are this because, then your other part of you needs to be going, hang on a minute, I'm going to listen to you, but I'm going to challenge you, and actually that's not true. So
that's exhausting though. Challenging it can be so exhausting. It's such a mental process, and sometimes when you just like, you're exhausted, you've been, you know, it's just easy for that part to go offline, and for that part, because that part's relentless. That part doesn't need sleep, it doesn't need, you know, food, it just needs, like, you know, the most worst conditions. So it's really hard to, because I do have times like I've been getting better at countering it, but it's just I'm building that muscle of being able to, you know, like, say for example, like, I'll have an anxiety spike in my stomach. I've been getting better at just focusing on taking some big deep breaths, and I'll notice it'll be a spike in my stomach, and I'm just like, I'll be walking in, I'll just be, or whatever.
So because this one, sorry, Karlea.
So I was just gonna say, like you're talking about inner critic, I'm sitting there because I went first in saying
Mm,
what, and then I'm listening to you two. I'm like, oh my God, they're saying it so in depth. They're actually gone into, and then I'm like, did I say enough? You know,
You
so
did so well.
I'm
you
already
did. You did
critiquing
really well.
myself, but
Yeah.
I panic. I can feel
Oh,
what you're
bless
saying,
you.
that pit in your stomach. I'm panicking that I haven't said enough. I haven't explained myself properly. Even though everyone says I explain myself
Hmm.
well, I do not feel that I do.
Hmm.
Like, and I can feel myself getting emotional just even admitting it. Like, it's just very strange feeling.
Hmm. Well,
So
thank you for sharing that.
today you can share as much or as little as you like. This is about
Mm.
you writing down anything that you hear from other people that could be helpful. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
There's no right, there's no wrong, but
Mm.
just notice what does come up for you.
yes, yeah,
yeah, and just,
Yeah.
just to add as well
Mm.
myself. I mean, inner critic, absolutely, always.
Mm.
I've had it all my life, and I just think it would be so great to make it go away.
yeah,
Have to
Mm.
say, really would.
But the only thing you can do in the short term to shut up that inner critic is just say, thank you for having my back, but can you now
Okay.
go away? I've listened, now go away. But say
Mm.
it quicker, shorter, and sharper. So
mm,
Okay.
it is being told, actually, thank you, but no thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
And that is a
Mm.
behavioral change that is going to take time because for some reason, this has been given air to say what it wants. But equally, can you imagine if that was going on at a loved one, so a friend or a family member, if that was going on about them, you would, as a person, go, you're bullying,
Yeah,
you're
it's true.
shaming,
Yeah.
you would call it out. If you saw what was going on in your brain to another person that you loved, you would, as a person, go, hang on a minute, shut your beak.
yeah,
This is not right. What you're doing to this other person is not right. So your cognitive brain needs to be coming online and going, hang on a minute, this is not right. This is not true.
Yeah.
Thank you, but bugger off.
mm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
So I want you to try and reframe that if you can.
Mm.
All right. So it doesn't matter what trauma you've gone through, and we're going to look at that in a moment, it has the same impact and outcomes. And we're going to look at that in a moment. So I just want you to, and it's really lovely to have different experiences on this call because you can see actually there's a lot of overlap, but there's completely different experiences.
Mm.
Yeah.
yeah,
So before we move on from this, you've identified that you might have one main mode of survival, but equally there could be a combination, and that combination could be coming up in different situations or has shown itself up in different situations over your lifetime. But I want you, if you can, to focus in on one situation where you notice this the most. So it could be, there's an example there on a screen. When I get a difficult message, I either react immediately or I shut down completely. It could be when I see a particular person, this is what happens. Domini, for you, when I get the post in the morning, it
Yeah.
creates a certain thing in you.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
And what is your reaction? So because what we're trying to do over the course of today with the workbook is to get you to a calmer and more confident place of being to deal with what is going on for you. And when
Yeah.
we come down to focusing on one thing, once we've got a plan of action for that one thing, we then can repeat it over and over for different things.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you could just take a minute, and again, equally, if you're finding something really difficult to verbalize and make it tangible, don't worry. Just put a question mark by it. Yeah. Because I know some of you, you'll probably go, oh, well, I can't answer that. So therefore, the whole webinar workshop is not going to work for me. Just put a question mark by it. Yeah. Or write down what it is you're struggling with. We're not going to discuss everything that we're writing down, but if you've got any questions at the end, then we can always come back to something that may be bugging you. So has everyone got an answer for themselves?
Yes.
Okay, so we're now going to turn to page 3 of your booklet. And we're going to take a look at what does this look like. So what your trauma response that you identified, even if it's a mix, try and think about the dominant one. What does it look like in your everyday life? So how does it show up? Because the patterns, they don't just appear in big moments. They show up in how you wake up in the morning, how you feel in your body overall, and how you relate to people around you. And you've all really discussed some of this already in detail. So we're going to look at these 6 areas and see if we can come up with something. So what does your morning look like? How do you start your day? Do you wake up with lots of energy? Are you anxious? Do you check your phone straight away? Do you go to the post box straight away? How do you start your day? Then your thoughts. Does that inner critic turn up straight away? Or do you actually feel quite calm in the morning? Your body, when you wake up in the morning, do you feel tense or do you feel, actually, this feels like a really good day today? Your energy levels, do you feel exhausted? Do you feel quite okay? So this is what your general day looks like. Or equally, you could think, what does my worst day look like? And then as we work through this, you'll have a plan of how to deal with your worst day. So it could be your average day or it could be your worst day. And your behavior. What is your general behavior throughout the day? I'm going to give you some time to do this in a minute, girls.
Okay.
I say yes to everything. I just feel completely overwhelmed. Or actually, I feel quite in control of my day because blah, blah, blah. And your relationships. What is your relationship like with yourself at the moment? And then maybe a loved one, and then maybe someone, a work colleague that irritates life out of you, or someone within your family. So we're not trying to dig up stuff. What we're trying to do is just identify what is happening at the moment. So if something comes to mind straight away, write it down. But if you're finding you're having to dig, then don't dig. We're trying to understand what is coming up for you at the moment. Can you all see me, by the way? And can you see each other? Good.
Yeah.
I can only see you, Chris.
Yeah, same.
Okay. I'm going to try and get a different system for presenting because Zoom is really difficult, but we'll just go with the flow whilst it's working. Actually, I'm going to take a picture and show you what I can see.
Okay.
And then maybe you can do a picture so I can see what you can see.
Mm.
So again, we're not just going to stretch this out until you've got an answer for everything, because if it's not immediately in your observation, then your subconscious will work on this. And when you revisit it, you'll go, ah, okay. Or equally, you won't, and it's not an issue. Yeah. We're just trying to peel the onion a little bit as we go through. So if you haven't got an answer for everything, don't worry. But let's just share what we do have so we can sort of like build a little bit of a picture. Um, do you want to go first, Grace? Because Karlea and Domini went first previously.
Yeah. All I've just wrote down. I didn't
Yeah,
fully follow this, but I wrote. So
yeah,
how I start my day is usually recently I've just it's hard to answer completely, but usually I'm tired and I sort of have been prolonging my alarm a little bit. But what I've really been struggling with is I've just watched YouTube. Like I'll get up while I'm getting ready. I need to have like something to
yeah,
focus on. I can't have just silence while I'm getting ready in the morning. That honestly, and then that starts my day where I'm at work, and I think I've realised with the current job I'm doing, and I have got a new job, which I going for a vetting process at the moment, and that will start in September. But I realise anyway that I think I'm just bored. So, and I don't have as much responsibility in this job, and where I'm just sort of supervising, and the young people I work with are doing so well, they don't really need my help as much. So I can sort of go through my day where I can go and see them, go and check on them and see how they're doing, spend time with them. But apart from that, I can just sort of I can go on my tablet and I can just watch it like YouTube if I want to. I can sort of my days aren't as like pressured or
yeah. They're not full. Yeah,
no, which the new job that I'm going that I've been accepted onto, which is going to be very intense. I mean, I'm going to be well. I need to go through the vetting process first, but going to be a
mm-hmm.
probation officer, which I've
Oh,
applied
well
for.
done.
I know it's a big girl, job. But that's why at the moment I'm sort of I want to build some like really like much better habits in
Yeah,
because I know I'm going to need it in a job like that. I know
you
I'm going to
are.
have more of a balance in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why in my mind, the ideal start to my day, I've got this sort of plan in my head. Sorry, I'm not really
Okay.
there yet. I
No.
want to get up. I want to have everything laid out. I just want to get up, quickly wash my face, brush my teeth, and just get down to the swimming pool and then go get in the water, have a swim, no pressure, and then get ready while I'm there to sort of start my day differently. And I think that could really make a difference for the
Yeah.
rest of the day without that's my ideal thing. That's what I'd love to do. Something else I wrote down. Yeah, the boredom. I put my relationships feel they are lacking, and I feel lonely and disconnected. But I'm
Okay.
tired, and because I'm tired, I'm sort of dissociating, and I struggle. It can be harder to be around people because I'm not showing up as this like. If I can't show up in a certain way, then I don't want to do it. It's harder to feel like because I'm just going to be maybe a bit tired or not as social or not showing up as this, you know what I mean? So it's harder to not do it, even though if these people really cared about me, then it wouldn't matter too much. And it's just about being around people, and it shouldn't be that sort of pressure. Um, my thoughts, I just put that they're constant yet no outlet, and I think that sometimes it can feel like they're slowing down, but at the same time, I don't know, just my mind can go blank. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not. And then my behavior, I choose. I'm on my own a lot more these days. Like for a long time, I just sort of my default is my own space, and being around people is sort of second to that, which is fair, but I will prefer that internally sort of thing. Even though I would like to be more social and to be around people more because I am also feeling lonely or feeling like my life is lacking in certain things. Um, yeah, it's a difficult one to, you know.
There's a lot there, Grace.
Yeah.
So, the starting your day in the way
Yeah.
that you described will really help you just ground
Yeah.
yourself. Yeah.
Hmm.
Being more productive, not being bored with your new job will give you that fulfillment that
Mm.
you haven't got time on your hands and you've got something concrete to work towards.
A
Yeah.
lot to learn as well. There'll be,
Lots of learning.
yeah.
Yeah. So that will enable you to feel more balanced, especially if you start the day in the way that you described. Yeah. So your job is going to fulfill something in you that is lacking at the moment. But equally, you're saying you feel lonely and disconnected. So it needs to be when you're ready for it, that you may find yourself a new little social group or hobby that you can let off steam with from the workload that you're going to be facing. So there are
Yeah.
sort of three things to this, and you're going to be getting more socialization through your new job
Yeah.
anyway. So you're going to have to, when you move forwards, to try and balance out all of this. But I think having that morning routine will set you up and give you the grounding that you need. But you've got to understand that you can't take on lots of things, otherwise your stress bucket will just be overflowing.
Then that's why I've come to, because I was like, I want to go to the gym and I want to go to all the classes and I want to do this dance class that I've been wanting to do. But that's why my brain has sort of gone. I went swimming recently, like a few weeks back, and I was like, this is nice. Maybe this is something I could just sort of, even if I just say for a month, like just swimming. There's no pressure to do anything else. It's just go swimming, because I can do that. I like swimming, so it's sort of that's the one I've settled on.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Just doing it.
Right.
It's just giving myself the chance to and the logistical parts, getting my stuff ready and having that,
So when the brain's doing a brain fart, literally.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you can't grab that bit or that bit or that bit because it's too scattered. Focusing on the one thing that's going to get you what you need right now to be able to do everything else. Yeah.
Yeah.
So write down swimming.
Yeah.
Karlea, let's come to you next.
Okay. So at the moment, I start my day. I have to literally get up because I don't sleep very well, so I'm always totally exhausted when I get up. But I have to get in the bath straight away, or shower straight away, because if I don't, then I'm not gonna. Like, the day will just
sort
of get away
run
with me.
away. Yeah.
But obviously I'm not at work at the moment, so I have this, again, it's probably the inner critic again, but I should be at work. I've worked from a teenager, I've always worked. So having this time of not being able to just get up and go to work, it's really hard. But I also know I'm not in the place to be at work. I can't deal with the interaction. So then I'm constantly battling with myself, that I should be doing this. And I suppose putting pressure on. So then I'm overthinking. I'm replaying, like, oh, if only I'd done things differently, that I maybe wouldn't have been in this position, And then I'm also like, everything happens for a reason. Like, I'm supposed to stop right now to be able to find that better future for myself. So I battle from positive to negative constantly.
Yeah.
Well, I suffer with headaches, aching, constantly. I signed up for the gym. So I signed up. Then it took me 2 weeks to pluck up the courage to actually then go to the gym. I'm not at the point where I can actually go by myself. My husband will come with me.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to build myself up to go by myself. And the same thing like Grace. I've looked at all the classes. I've like, all right, I'm going to do swimming. I'm going to do this. And then I'm piling on the pressure and then I don't do any of it,
Yeah.
So
classic.
Yeah. And like, with my relationships, I can only really have like my husband and my kids around me, but even then that is overwhelming. I still need a lot of time by myself,
Yeah.
but that is also very lonely. Like
Yeah.
it's like I cannot win with what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to push
Yes.
myself to do things, but then it's overwhelming. And then if I do go out, then I'm stuck at home for days after because the overwhelm is just too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's where I'm
So we've
kind of
got lots
at.
of self-sabotaging going on, haven't we? Yeah.
Yeah,
Inner critic putting too much pressure on. And when your body subconsciously is doing that, that's why you're getting the headaches and the aches in your body because you're constantly on that fight
yeah.
mode. So can I ask if someone else, so if a friend, say like you had a twin and your twin just said everything that you've just shared with us and was saying that to you, what would your advice be to them, back to your twin?
Be kind to yourself. Like I can give out the advice
Yeah,
tenfold. I do it. Um, my sister is the only sort of family member I speak to. I can give her advice all day long.
yeah,
She was on the phone to me yesterday, her and her husband, and they were just venting, and I could give them such clear, concise advice. It's just I cannot seem to apply that to myself. It's like
okay.
I see it's like I'm almost separate from my body sometimes.
So that's
Like,
disassociation.
yeah, I'm always looking in on myself, and it's like that doesn't apply to me, even though I know it should, and I know that I would never tell my kids anything
Yeah,
like that. I probably would never show them that
mm.
harshness that I give myself. I suppose my husband's the only one that really truly understands, but that's when I'm willing to tell him everything, if you get what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Sometimes
yeah,
I'm like, I can't say that out loud, you
yeah,
know? So
yeah.
yeah, it's really hard.
Does your husband ever reflect back to you what it is you're saying to him? So sometimes, if you're being really negative about yourself, so the inner critic, how you're feeling, and you're verbalizing to your husband because he's your safe person, does he ever go to you? Why do you think that? Why do you feel that? So, and then does he ever challenge the reality around that? And do you actually hear what he says?
Yeah, I do. Yes, I do, and he does. Um, like the other day, I was just really emotional, and I was just like, I feel like I haven't achieved anything. And he was like, but how can you say that? And then he run
Hmm.
off all the things and then I like, it made me worse for a moment, but then I'm like, yeah, I hear you, like I do, and I know that I've done that. And then it's like
Hmm.
when you get into that spiral, it just all goes out the window and you forget all the achievements that you've actually done.
Yeah.
And obviously, I've had a really bad relationship with my mum, so
Hmm.
it's her voice a lot of the
Yeah.
times that will come back. The things she said, like she's actually said that, oh, what has she achieved in life? Like, and I'm like, that's all I can hear in those moments that you feel so low.
Yeah.
But then, like you say, he does challenge you. He draws me back and is
Yeah.
like, right, you got to think positive. Like you have done
Yeah.
really good things. But sometimes I need to get it out.
Yeah.
And I know, again, now knowing that I'm neurodivergent, the rumination is a
Yeah.
very big part of that. You
Hmm.
do replay things over and over, and I never fully understood it before. And it makes me quit because obviously I was a teacher, so and I worked with special needs children
Yeah.
with ADHD, with autism, but again,
Yeah.
I never ever was able to apply that to myself. I never realized that the environment I was working was actually helping me because it was set for neurodivergent children. But once things started changing at my workplace, and like you say, bullying and things like that,
Hmm.
it all fell apart because that was no longer safe. It was
Yeah.
no longer that kind of environment. And I suppose because I'm not only dealing with abuse that's happened to me, the breakdown of my family, the breakdown of not being able to go to. So there's so many different things happening that I spiral into just
Yeah.
despair almost.
All of those things you're sharing, right? All of them are making you unsafe. So within your person, you need to be able to make yourself feel safe. And this is often where the adult and the inner child need to come together. So it's the adult you that needs to be reaffirming, like you did with your sister and your brother in law, you need to be reaffirming all of that spiraling that's happening to the child, young person, young adult. And it's you as the adult that needs to be doing that reconnection and that inner safeguarding work. And it might be that you need to do that with the therapist. Yeah. Because that's a
And
lot of deep anchor work that needs to happen.
and I feel like, because obviously I am in therapy, but she's
Yeah.
on a break at the minute.
Yeah.
So I was getting to a point like I finally sort of started just opening up to her.
Yeah.
And then she went on a break. And it's
Yeah.
like that it's okay, yeah, talking to my sister, but my sister was part
Yeah. 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 Of that. Yeah.
of that. So I need that separate outlet.
Yeah.
And she's not around at the moment. And it's
Yeah.
really hard. Like she should be back, I think it's like another month or so, but
Okay.
having that break when you're not prepared for it or not
Yeah. Yeah.
ready
Yeah. Yeah.
for it.
Yeah. Because she's
Like,
almost become your safety.
I
Yeah.
can
Your
be
outlet. Yeah.
I can be totally myself
Mm-hmm.
without feeling that I have to hold back.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. So a lot going on there, but just understanding that this inner critic voice needs to be challenged, and your husband's good at that. So equally, you could write down for yourself when it comes up what it is, and then just say, can I have a conversation with you? I've been thinking this, I've been feeling this. Can we talk about it? So that might be a way of you working through stuff when it becomes too much. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, and when we're having a spiral or a disassociation, and this goes for everybody, what is happening with the brain is that it's in its feeling function, it's not in its cognition function. And when you're living your life from your feelings, whether you're trying to suppress them or whether they're boiling over and coming out, yeah, you can't really make sense of anything, and everything will look really not great. But when you can think about things and reflect about things and understand it and challenge it, that is where we move forwards. Yeah. So grounding and your grounding techniques that we're going to come on to, it's really key that when you feel that you're spiraling or you just can't make sense of things, it's like, right, what one thing do I need right now to stop this? And then once you've done that, then you can reflect, analyze, and move forwards. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Domini, let's come to you, and then I think we're going to take a break.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
So basically for me, obviously things have changed now because I've always worked full time since I left school. And then so for the last 4 years I've looked after my mum. So 2 years was in her flat. So I'd be able to come home in the evening, and obviously I don't mean it to sound horrible, but just to have a break, just have that separation. And then for the last 2 years, my mum lived with me full time. So because my mum only died in February, it's been a bit of an adjustment. There's obviously been a lot of obviously arranging the funeral and getting everything perfect. I was really happy with that. But now it's just sorting out, bank accounts and things. And my mum had a flat, and going through the probate and doing all of that stuff. So I've managed to do all of that myself. I've really and I've had like a checklist. I've always been a really organized person, I think, because I need to write things down or I'll forget things. So really, for the last couple of weeks, it's a bit different because I'm waiting for people to get back to me about things. So my I don't necessarily have a typical day, but I'd say at the moment, I wake up in the morning. I do awful. I check my phone, and I think sometimes I keep thinking I don't want really to have the mobile in my bedroom, but it wakes me up in the morning. Though I tend to wake up at, I'm very good with my with in the morning because I always tend to get up at about 6:45. So that is something I've really been working on because my sleep's been so bad. Because looking after my mum, it kind of wrecked my sleep for a couple of years. Um, so anyway, so I check my phone, see if anything needs responding to, because I'm almost like in work mode. I've never shaken it off. There's something to do, and then I also have to have a shower first. That's the thing. I've got to go straight in that bathroom. If I don't go in there and get myself ready, and I get distracted with something, I'm not going to go in there. So I have to go in there. In the mornings, I must say I feel absolutely exhausted. Which to me, I mean, I understand my mum's died, and maybe it's a grief thing how it's going through me, but it's not as though, I tend to be in bed by 10 o'clock every night. I'll have a little read first, and then I'll fall asleep. But the trouble is, I keep waking up in the night. I mean, I'm waking up multiple times a night, and I've tried the thing of just trying to lie there and not doing anything. That just really doesn't work for me. And so I've got into this habit now where I'll put a podcast on, and then it will send me to sleep. I'll only listen to it for about 5 minutes, and then I'll fall asleep. But it's just the fact at the moment I'm just waking up 2 or 3 times a night. Before, it was always waking up at 3 a.m. It was always that kind of hour in the night you'd wake up. And I couldn't get back to sleep. I can get back to sleep now listening to a podcast, but I'm waking up just gone midnight, just gone 1 o'clock. And I have really tried not to look at my phone to see what the time is. But I just think that's making it worse, because I think, oh my goodness, it's only just gone midnight, or or it's 4:30 in the morning. I'll be getting up in a couple of hours, kind of thing. And then my safety blanket is just being able to put something on that I can listen to get me to go back to sleep. I've got into that sort of habit. So I think as well with my thoughts in the morning, I mean, I even did it this morning. I just try to cram too much in. It's almost as though I don't realise that I have got all the time in the world now. So I'm really privileged and lucky I've got to that point. But so just for example, this morning, I got up, had a shower. I'd already worked out what I was going to make for dinner for this evening. And I'm very lucky. My husband, we do it all kind of alternate nights or half week on, half week off. So I can still enjoy cooking because I don't do it all the time. But I had to go to Sainsbury's, got all my ingredients. I came home. Then I went out. Then I saw one of my neighbours, had a little chat with him. So that was really nice because I even thought in my mind, should I have a chat? Do I have time for a chat? I've got loads to do. And I thought, no, I want to have a chat. So we had a little chat for, I don't know, 15 minutes. Then I came in, obviously, put all the stuff away I'd bought. Then I went straight out into the garden because I've got a couple of new bits of turf out there that I've been watering because it's been such lovely weather. So I get that on, and then fill up my bird feeders, and I fill up my bird baths, and these are nice things. And I keep thinking I've got enough time to do it. Then I come in, then I think, right, I'm going to start getting the dinner ready because I really hate. I think it was all the years of coming home from work and cooking. I like to try and get stuff prepared in the morning. So I was trying to get everything prepared so that I wouldn't have to do it later. But then I could see I was running out of time. Then I have to leave the kitchen really tidy. I can't stand it in a mess. I mean, I put so much pressure on myself. And again, saying it out loud just sounds ridiculous, because I could do it later, but I want to do it now. So in the end, I've got part of the dinner for tonight prepped, but it's not kind of all done. But I've done some of it. But this overwhelming thing I've got to clean up, and obviously normally I do try to prep as much as I can. Obviously, I printed this booklet out the night before just in case the printer didn't work. I'm always thinking that what if this goes wrong or if that goes wrong. I think maybe that's just to do with the work that I did before, always just trying to avoid things going wrong. But I
I've done
can't
the
stop,
same.
yeah, I can't stop doing it. I just just try to pack too much in. And my husband will say to me, you can just leave that, or you can do it tomorrow. And I have really tried actually recently. There's been a few things organised about my mum being laid to rest at the cemetery, which has really upset me. Um, and the last couple of Fridays, I've got emails on a Friday from the cemetery. And what I've actually done, and this is the first for me, I've parked it because I know it's going to not be what I want to hear, and it's going to
Mm.
upset me for the entire weekend. And there is nothing I can do about it. So what I've been doing is I've been parking that, then I open it on a Monday and then respond. And I've actually, for the first time in my life, been able to park it and forget about it. But again, I think that's because my husband's really great. We're quite busy at the weekends going out, because now, obviously, we've had 2 years where we've never been able to go out with each other, only on very rare occasions if one of my children will come and look after my mum. We're really catching up, going out for walks, going to see friends, and it's really nice. But I just feel like I'm just still, I don't know, I just overachieving or something. I don't know what's wrong with me. But anyway, it's now coming out in my body. So I know over the last couple of years, my podiatrist says, you've got a verruca, because she said that's quite a stress thing. Your immunity's down. And also I've started getting warts as well on my fingers. I've had those for about the last 6 months. I mean, I've never had that. And I've also got really, really dry eyes. And I was out with a friend yesterday. She's actually recommended something that I can put in at night. I think that's part of it as well. I'm waking up in the night, my eyes are really hurting, and I'm kind of putting drops in. Um, and again, I know we've spoken before, Chris, about that really good book, The Body Keeps the Score. You
100%.
manifest these things, it comes out. And I can really see that book really kind of open my eyes. And then just quickly to say, with my relationships with myself, oh, I almost feel like crying to say this. This is how I really feel. I'm never quite good enough.
Yeah, there you
I'm
go.
not, I'm just not good enough.
Yeah.
And yet, how ridiculous, because I spend my entire life trying to be bloody perfect all the time. But
Yeah, but that is
inside,
why you're doing that, because you don't feel good enough.
yeah, I don't feel good enough. And then I've not been so bad the last couple of weeks, but especially since my mum had died, I've just got so snappy with my husband. I just couldn't even keep it in with him. I just bite his head off. And we're really quite good. Our relationship has always been, we really, really get on. And then I don't know, things might build up. We'll have a massive row, and then it's all fine. Yeah, it's just how that we are. And it really works
Just
for us.
clearing the air.
And
Yeah.
I think the other thing I'm really, really good at is I'm brilliant at masking all the time.
Yeah. We all
Again,
do that.
it's my nearest and dearest that know what I'm really like. And then even when I say that, I would say I'm really lucky. I've got two really, really good friends, but I'd say one is my ultimate best friend who I can tell everything to, because I do have a lot of friends, but there's only so much you can show to different people. Again,
Yeah.
I just think it's my experience. There's what you can show to some people, not to others. So I'm really lucky in the fact I've got an absolute best friend that I've known since when I was at sixth form at school. And though she now lives in Australia, we still talk all the time, and yeah, so I'm really lucky I've got somebody I can 100% confide in. And I feel really blessed that I have that. I'm really, really
No,
lucky.
that is good. So Grace and Karlea, just before we have a break,
Mhm.
Domini obviously shared quite a lot of stuff there. Anything come up for you that you want to reflect back?
Mm. In general, or just in
Just in
response?
general, in response to Domini, or just generally?
I guess one thing I was talking, like, think something that popped to my mind that I did want to share in general, like just generally. I've actually just arrived, so I can go and collect it. I've got myself a little flip phone,
Okay.
and in my mind, it's sort of like because I'm just so tired of technology, and I want to sort of I'm going for like a hybrid style. I don't know how it's going to work yet, but even I
Yeah.
wrote down, it was, I don't know where, but it was like calling someone and just saying, you got 10 minutes to talk, and just that low
Okay.
pressure, you got 10
Yeah.
minutes, you got 10 minutes. Like, it doesn't have to be this, like, to connect, it doesn't have to be this whole big thing. It
Yeah.
can just be, and because I've been wanting to reach out to, like, there's family members that when we're like didn't have much contact with my dad's side growing up because of adults doing, not handling things very well at the time. But now we're older, I've got these cousins that when we're together they're so fantastic, but I just really struggle to keep in touch with people.
Yeah.
Even though I'm on my phone and I've got my tap, like, and I'm really really shit at getting back to people. I have a very small couple people that I consistently will get back to. Apart from that, it just sort of falls on under the radar. So I'm kind of, that's my sort of plan, is to hopefully just, if I can only call and text, and maybe I should be just calling and texting a bit more, and also putting myself out there a bit more, and just, even if I call and they're like, oh, Grace is calling, that's a bit, but it's like but that's all right, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
people don't mind it when you do, like, it's like, I don't know, people don't mind it when you
You
reach
are
out
allowed
or
to
just,
say life's really busy at the moment, but I just
yeah.
wanted to let you know I'm thinking of you and it'd be great to meet up. Let's get a date in
Yeah.
the diary. That's it.
Mm, okay. That sounds easy enough.
Yeah,
Get these
it
like
is as
blocks
easy
and
as
stuff.
that.
Yeah. Or it's always just like, well, if once I'm like this, or once I do this, or once my money's a bit like better, then I can do, like, it's always something's got to be in place first, right? But it doesn't have to work like that either, does it?
It doesn't, but you've got
No.
to feel safe to be
Yeah.
able to get to that point. Yeah.
So maybe it is, I don't know, the brain is like, oh, I need this thing or this thing, but actually the thing that's most important is the safety part, but we grab onto things instead,
Yeah. Yeah.
where actually it's just that core safety. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to come back to a place of what is going to make me feel safe in this situation and put everything in place that
Mm,
you can to allow it to happen. And then
mm,
you know what? Life is about living, and living, there is some risk. But as long as
mm.
we've got the safety bit, which really will truly anchor ourselves, then we can take those few risks, whatever they look like.
And also something else that came up, that I think one thing I struggle with people is because of the work I'm doing on myself and have been doing for years. I mean, I'm really interested. I mean, it's an interest, but it's my life. The work,
Yeah,
going to therapy, the videos I watch, like, everything comes back.
yeah,
You don't meet many. It's that meet people that are also, on a day to day. It's not,
yeah,
and sometimes that's where my mind is. I'm thinking,
yeah.
I've watched an interesting video in the morning, or my mind is elsewhere that isn't like socially acceptable, or just, it's, yeah, and that can be quite difficult, I guess.
One thing Domini said was about like meeting people where they are at, because sometimes they don't want this in-depth conversation that we
Mm,
might want.
mm,
So understanding that they can only give you this piece of the pie when you want this piece of the pie,
mm,
then it's like your expectations, because I've done that before. My expectation was we were going to do this, but their expectation was that, and it didn't match. And then I felt that my needs weren't being met, and I felt upset, disappointed, blah, 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 blah. So it's almost like you live and learn to know what one person can give
mm.
you and what you can give back, and
Yeah,
what the relationship with that person looks like,
yeah.
because it is only surface level, because that's all they can give you. And equally, to stay safe, that's all you want.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense.
Carly?
Um, yeah, no, I totally agree with that. And like you say, since going on this journey, a lot of people have fallen away. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the same support around me. So I suppose that's why I do try and engage with a lot of things that you do, Chris, because
Yeah,
that is a group of people that, again, I do not have to explain myself. I
yeah.
can literally just be. And then just going back to something you said, Dominique, about not feeling good enough. I do not remember a time in from childhood that I've ever felt good enough. I was always put down. I was always told that I was either too much or I wasn't enough, like I gave too much energy to things or I didn't do enough. And that's something I've carried. So and obviously I met my husband when I was young. I was a teenage mum. I still was I wasn't good enough because now I've let everybody down because I've decided to have a child at
Mm.
young instead of, so for the last 20 odd years, I've been trying to live up to everyone's expectation. I had this mask on that I can handle everything. So that when I couldn't handle things, everyone was so shocked because they was like, I always thought you had your things together because I never
Mm,
showed 1 ounce of the fear I was feeling. I always hid it so, so well. Um, and I was striving for, again, I suppose, perfection, even though nothing was perfect. Like, nothing was going the way that I wanted it to. I was drowning half the time, but nobody could see that. Nobody actually
Mm.
realized how bad things was until I couldn't I couldn't not function
hmm.
anymore, So yeah, just resonating with like what both of you are saying is just what I'm feeling right now.
Yeah. Right, girls, before we have a break, I just want us to look at this page, page 4, the impact of the survival mode that we might have found ourselves in. So, right now, would you rate on the scale of 1 to 10 what your energy levels are like, what your physical health is like,
Mm.
your relationships, and maybe if you want to work on your relationship, pick your relationship that you do want to work on and rate it. What does your mental health feel like? Your clarity, your focus, and anything other that you may come up with that may not be listed there. So 1 is that area is not affected at all, and 10 is it's significantly affected. So don't overthink it, just go with your gut. And then once you've done that, it's like, look at your scores. What do you notice? Are there any areas that surprise you? Are there any areas that feel heavier than others? And what does this tell you about where you are right now, do you think? And I want to just reiterate that these scores are not a measure of your worth or your strength. It's just simply a snapshot of where you are today. And this awareness will allow you to create the change that is needed for you at this moment. I'm just going to stop sharing for a moment because we're going to have a 10-minute break and then we're going to come back. Still recording. I wonder if I can pause record. Don't want to press it just in case it stops recording. So we might have to record the breaks as well. But
Okay.
yeah, let all of that just percolate. Yeah, we don't have to overthink things. Nothing needs to become a drama today. This is just awareness, listening to each other, and then moving forwards through the booklet. Yeah. So shall we come back at 10 to, ladies? Was that
Okay.
14 minutes? 20. Yeah, let's come back at 10 to, and then we'll carry on. Yeah. All right. So just turn your screens, like put your like that. That's it. That's it. Just turn your screens off.
Okay.
And then I'll see you back at 10 to.
Sure. It's about here, they're downstairs.
Mm. So yeah, so you don't mind. I'm just gonna be eating if that's right. Cool. I really appreciated Chris. I took out your book recently because I was like, I need it's such a good it's just like it's such a good guide of like to most simplify it down, that book contains it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
and I really apprecited that. And
Oh, bless
it's
you.
been it stayed in a folder for a little while, but it was only in that I
Yeah.
think like a month ago that I remembered. I was like, I took it out and it's just like sat sort of in the book pile there because in between a lot of books. So
Yeah,
yeah,
no
really.
worries. So I've rewritten that book for the everyday person. So that's the copy that you're going to get
Oh, amazing.
afterwards, so that if you ever want to take it around with you, it hasn't got the Survivor
Mm.
logo all over it. Yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
equally, yeah, it's just, I think it's really good for everybody to know, because it doesn't matter if you've come from a place of trauma because of abuse or any kind of trauma in your
Mm.
life. And we are going to go into that now. So we are recording again, ladies. So I learned how to pause that whilst we was on a break. We've got a little bit of catching up to do, but we've covered a lot of ground already, but we're going to reinforce it with the booklet slides coming up. So I'm going to share again and hopefully you can see everything, but let's see. Can you hear me clearly? Because I haven't got me mic near me.
Yeah, you're
Yes, I can hear
good.
you clearly.
Right, let's share. Share. Okay. Right, let's just wait for everything to go away. And then hopefully, if you've got some blocks, you can still see the writing on the left. Is that clear?
Mm.
I can't see anything.
You
No.
can't see
No,
nothing.
I can see the mouse. That's all.
Oh, that's not good. Hang on a mo.
I don't think I can see that.
Stop
I've got
share. Ah, right. Share. Click on the application window. Share. Participants can now see your application. That's what it's saying.
I've just got a black screen.
Yeah, the
With the
black
mouse.
screen with the
Oh,
mouse.
girls. Right, hang on. Let me exit out of it. Come into it again. Present. Present. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, so it looks like when you stop recording, you need to come into everything again. So can you see it? Yeah?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right, okay. So you rated yourself earlier. We don't need to go into that. It just needs to be recorded, okay? So the next slide is the stress bucket. So that's your page 5, ladies.
Yeah.
So some of you are aware of the stress bucket already because we've done work on it in the course that I ran with you. So imagining this stress bucket, we all have one, and throughout our lives, things get dropped into it. So we've got work pressure, money worries, difficult relationships, health concerns, housing stress, all of that will go into this bucket. Yeah. But here's the thing that makes it different from just having a hard time. For most of us, at the bottom of our bucket will be sitting trauma rocks. These are unresolved experiences from your past, often from childhood, that take up permanent space. Some of us have known about our trauma rocks from an early stage, from a later stage, but equally, some of us may have only just become aware of trauma rocks sitting in a bucket today. Yeah. Now, they don't go away on their own, and everything else that we experience in life will just pile on top of them. Yeah. Until we actually acknowledge and validate that they may be sitting there. When our bucket overflows, we feel anxious, exhausted, irritable. Domini, can you
Yeah.
recognize that?
Yes, I
Or
can.
completely shut down, Karlea and Grace. Yeah, when you disassociate. Yeah. This is not because you are weak, it's because your bucket is full and it's been full for a long time. Yeah. Okay. In your workbook, there are 2 questions that I want you to answer. What are your stressors right now? So what's sitting in your bucket right now that you're worried about? List the big things and the small things because they all do count. Often it's the little thing that will make your bucket overflow. So you could be spinning so many plates, dealing with so much stuff that your brain goes offline. You stub your toe, and it's the stub in the toe that makes your world crash. But it ain't the stub in the toe. It's the big thing that's been unresolved, or the thing that you're still struggling with at this point in time. And then the second thing I want you to write down here is what has helped you in the past to empty your stress bucket. What gives you even a little bit of relief? And we have all come up with some of these answers already as we've spoken freely. So today is not just about understanding the weight of what is pulling us down mentally, physically, emotionally. It's about understanding what our release valves are. So, Grace, you've already said about going swimming and putting that into practice because that would set you up for the day. I would like to think, Domini, reflecting back to you, that you've never really sort of like verbalized that you didn't feel quite enough.
No, I haven't.
Yeah. And then Karlea, the fact that you are not, I don't know why I keep saying Karlea. It's Carly, isn't it? It's just the way you spell your name.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Carly, I think reflecting back at you, I think once your safety comes back in the form of your counsellor, you will feel more on a stable level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what helps empty my bucket, Carly, for you could be, I need that one-to-one outlet.
Yeah.
And my stressors right now are whatever you want to put in there, because I don't want to put my words in the way of what you need to write down. So when you're getting symptoms fed back at you, like the irritability, the anxiety, the exhaustion, the overwhelm, I can't quite do, I know I should be doing this, but I can't quite do it. That is your body's way of sending you signals that you are overwhelmed. And that is the time to go, right, what's going on? Is it work career? Or if you're retired, have you got enough to do? That is filling your bucket in the right way rather than draining you. Yeah. Do you have money worries, or is money okay? Expectations there, look, pressure to do more, be more, hold it together. Why? So some of us will need to be really honest with ourselves and say, actually, we need that stillness. We need those down times. We need to be able to just do nothing or shit stuff, like watch EastEnders. I always get, why did you watch that rubbish? I'm like, it's my outlet. Life is never as bad as it is on EastEnders. And it makes you laugh, you know, it makes you smile. Have you got a current ongoing health problem that needs sorting? Do you have caring responsibilities, or have they just gone? I know for me, when my grown-up children aren't here, I feel lost. I feel like a bit of me's gone. And I know that you need to let them go, live their own lives, etc., but it still has an impact on me that they're not responsible for. But what is the void that I need to fill, and how am I going to fill it? Yeah. So everything comes up with so many more questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's how do we fill up our own bucket with good things, things that are going to stabilize us, things that are going to ground us, things that are going to bring us a bit of peace, some happiness, and how do we get rid of the stuff that isn't good for us? Do we need to remove people? Do we need to change the relationships? Do we need to have an uncomfortable conversation? Do we need to write it down and burn it because confronting that particular person isn't a safe thing for us to do? But we still need to get rid of the feeling that is deep in our bodies. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
These are the kind of things that we need to start thinking about and putting in our lives. So have you all written something down for that? I'm not going to, as I said, go through everything, but we'll draw it all together. Yeah, you ready to move on?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your stress bucket. Now, understanding your response. Do any of you remember what happens when you get triggered or overwhelmed or highly stressed from the alarm system in the brain? Do any of you remember?
Your amygdala goes off.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if Domini knows this information yet, but basically, when you get stressed and the alarm system in your brain gets triggered, and your nervous system is made up of two branches. This is simplified, by the way. It's made up of your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest, your digest, your calm. It's made up of your sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight and flight branch of the nervous system. And they both work together to keep you safe. Yeah. But when you are triggered, the amygdala alarm system goes off in the brain, and it will have a corresponding hormonal response. And that is usually a release of adrenaline in the short term to get you ready for that fight, flight kind of, I need to protect myself. And then adrenaline should turn itself off once you become grounded and calm again. But over time, if adrenaline keeps being triggered all of the time, the corresponding cortisol release, these are both stress hormones that get released, the corresponding cortisol release over time can cause you a lot of internal damage. Yeah. Physiological, biological damage. So it's really important that we're able to manage our stress, manage the stress bucket, so that we can turn this alarm system off in our brains so that the hormonal response doesn't work against us. So this is all the biology, it's all the physiology, and it's in detail in the book that I'm going to send you, the ebook that I'm going to send you afterwards. What I didn't want to do is overwhelm anyone with that book. Okay, so just know when stress builds, your body releases adrenaline and cortisol. It triggers a cascade that keeps your nervous system on high alert. So you're not in your parasympathetic nervous system, you're in your sympathetic, your fight flight. Yeah. Now, chronic activation. So when your cortisol hormone is surging through your body all of the time because you haven't been able to manage your stress, it can lead to exhaustion, poor sleep, and anxiety. Your nervous system cannot tell if it's a real threat or a perceived threat. So everything that comes in to your brain, including that horrible negative voice, that's a threat. It's not a real threat, but it's a perceived threat to your brain. So you might have had in your life, whether it be at work, in the family home, within a relationship, someone going, even if it was joking, Domini, even if it was a joke, you know, I wish you was, you're not this, you're not that. All of that negativity, if you are keeping on with that, either at a high level, a loud volume, or whether it's quietly just sitting there, not dealt with, not spoken about, it will have all of this corresponding hormonal release going on. So in order to stop the bomb literally going off, i.e., we take it out on other people, we take it out on ourselves internally, we take it out for emotional eating, alcohol, drugs, over exercising, overworking, people pleasing. So rather than it coming out in something, in order for us to make us feel safe so that we can cognitively deal with what's going on, and we need to be able to put the pin back into the hand grenade to make it safe. And we do that through grounding techniques. Yeah. When we're on that level, we need to go, right, how do I make my brain and my body feel safe? Yeah. So, are there any questions on this? So it doesn't matter if it's a real threat or a perceived threat. When that alarm system goes off in the brain, adrenaline and cortisol are released. The survival response will be fight, flight, freeze, fawn, flop. And that leads to chronic stress over time. That is the hormonal cascade. That is what happens. Is there anything any of you would like to say around that? Sorry, go ahead.
For me, because a lot of things I'd forgotten or I just suppressed, it's like I'll get to a point where I think, right, I've got a handle on this, and then something else pops up, and then it sort of starts. So it's that chronic stress just keeps going round and round and round.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, I know that therapy is what I need. You know, I do know that, but it's trying to cope with that when therapy is not available. You know, like I do yoga or I do meditation. You know, I try to, but if I stop, it all comes flooding back, you know? But if I keep trying to go, I'm so exhausted. That it's another sort of vicious circle.
Yeah. So you have to be careful. You need to be able to have a strategy of what calms you down in the first place so you can put that pin back in the hand grenade so you feel safe. And then, do I now need a nap? Do I now need to go for a short walk? Do I now need to listen to some music? And it might be a different coping depending on what's going on. Yeah. So it's all about not overdoing it, Carly, but also doing something to shift that energy that's stuck in your body, in your brain.
Yeah.
So this is where having that first aid kit, literally, or whatever you want to call it, you can call it your wellness kit, your first aid kit, whatever it is. So in that kit, you have your smellies, and we'll go through the calming 5-minute kits in a moment. You have your smellies, you have your grounding tool, you might have your candle, you might have a little stone, crystal, a teddy bear, whatever. Just get used to literally having it by your side or carry it with you. So make it small enough so that you can carry it with you, or one thing out of that kit so that you can tangibly hold it, call upon it when it's needed. Yeah. But long term, these are things you can use all of the time, obviously, but you don't want to be living in survival mode and trying to just put your pin back in your hand grenade. You want to thrive. And thriving comes from dealing with those big trauma rocks. And that is your counselling. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But equally, once you've got through a tricky part of the counselling, whatever it is that's coming up for you, then these are things that are going to help you as well. Because to turn that alarm system off, you've got to ground yourself.
Yeah.
As simple as that. And grounding, as we'll come on to in a minute, and you've probably already seen it in the booklet, is the breathing techniques and all of those kind of things, which you're saying you're already doing, which is fantastic. But it can also feel like when you're in an episodic moment of just hand grenade going off, putting the pin in, hand grenade going off, something else happening, it's just like, well, where's my living? I'm just surviving. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a part of this is having hope that things can change as well, and that you've got people around you, which I know you have, that really truly get you and love you and want the best for you. But it's taking all of that and giving it to yourself and really believing that you deserve it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that might be where the counsellors needs to come in as well. Like, that you need to really work on your own self-esteem and self-worth. But equally, you were, I think, Grace, you were saying about you've achieved so much. Oh, no, it was Karlea, actually. You've achieved, we've all achieved, by the way, but you've achieved so much, but you didn't really believe it until your husband spoke it back at you. Now, I always get, but nothing phases you, Chris. Nothing does this. And I'm like, no, I have my own issues like everybody. So what I've done, my certificate that I got back in 1988 for becoming a chartered management accountant, it stayed in its wooden scroll cylinder until literally 6 months ago. I got it in 1998. Only put it up in 2026. So now that is in a frame and it's up on my wall. And every time I go in there, it's because there was so much trauma around that certificate, because it took me 10 years to get qualified. There was so much that went into it. And then I had a breakdown once I got qualified, that for some reason it just stayed in its cylinder. And now it's out on my wall and I can go in there and it makes me smile.
Yeah.
So some deep shit takes decades to deal with. Yeah. And you might not even, but you might not even know it. See, I didn't know that was a thing. In my brain, it was just, oh, my certificate's in that tube. I must get it out one day and put it in a frame. And I never did.
Yeah.
And now I know why.
Chris, can I add something? Just really quickly,
Yes.
that note.
Yeah.
I have a degree, but because of my breakdown at the end of uni, I never actually I still don't have it. I don't actually have like a copy of my certificate. And it's something that's been on my mind. Like, I really should order it. I should contact them. I should this. And because I deserve it. I still did it, even though I feel like I've got different things in my mind about it. It's just quite funny to see that someone else has a similar, like, 5 years and I've just not got it. So put
it on your to-do list and let me know what happens when you get it and when you put it up.
Thank you.
But it doesn't have to be a degree, it doesn't have to be a management accountancy, whatever. It's those little things. If you've got your certificates, if you've got anything that is the reality of what you have achieved, when you don't believe it or don't see it, get it out and put it and make it in your space.
Yeah.
Because it does help you challenge the reality when you're in a spiral.
Yeah.
Yeah. When out of sight, out of mind makes us go down. When we've got post-its, you remember meeting Bev, don't you, on your course? And she's the post-it lady, She literally has positive words that mean something for her behind all of her cupboards. When she opens her cupboard, it's there. And she says when she feels in a spiral, whatever word you want to use, she knows that to ground, she literally needs to go and open a cupboard door. And then when she reads something, it validates her. Yeah. And I'm not saying it will work for you, but I'm just saying
I've
try
got,
it.
I actually have it on my wardrobe. So when I wake up, that's the first thing
Good.
I see. But like you
Yeah.
say, it's about build working on
Believing.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Absolutely believing. Because all I can say from my personal contact with all of you is that you are really good people, you're lovely, and you don't deserve all of this negative shit that's going on around in your brains. You know what I'm saying? Especially
Mm.
when all of that negativity is a perceived threat to your brain, and this is then happening. So we've got to learn to put our pins back in our own hand grenades and understand what is causing the pin to pop out. Yeah. And that's all about managing the stress and looking at what's in the stress bucket. So equally, Dominic, it could be now your mum's passed, bless her, that you've got time on your hands and you need to fill it with something that's going to bring you more of a reward, something that's going to lift you up. I don't know what it is, but it might be that you're making yourself really busy with other things, but maybe you need to work towards something really significant that's going to mean something for you.
Yeah, I think so. I think personally for me at the moment is just sorting things out with
Yeah.
my mum,
It's
getting
too
her
early yet. Yeah.
getting her laid to rest,
Yeah.
sorting out all the paperwork and stuff. And I think what really got me down was just the response I was getting from people. You know, you've had a bereavement and you phone up a bank and then you have to wait 15 minutes because the line, you know, exceptionally busy, and then you get some through to somebody who is not at all sympathetic. So
Yeah.
lucky, you know, I wasn't in an absolute state. But not only that, you know, they were just doing things wrong. I've just had so much of that over the last couple of months. But then I think I said to you the other day, I've had to think to myself, this is not a catastrophe. You know,
Yeah.
it's just my reaction to it. I've
Yeah.
really got mad, you know, not
Yeah.
necessarily with the person, but afterwards. And I just think, you know, this is part probably all the grieving process.
Yeah.
And I do think looking forward, for me, it will be once I've sorted everything out for my mum,
Yeah.
and obviously I know this is a safe space here. I think really just looking at that thing earlier about the what was it? Rate about our survival mode, energy and relationships and things. If I really think about it, for me, with my children, they've left home. I don't really feel an empty space. I suppose maybe they've been gone a little bit longer. I'm not sure. I'm just really pleased for them. But I
Yeah.
think with my daughter, um, both of my children have always been high achievers, which is great. I'm really proud of them, etc. And they've gone to university. But for my daughter, she was diagnosed with ADHD when she was at university, and it was a very traumatic time for the entire family.
Yeah.
Um, and though she's now, you know, she got through that. I don't know. I've got to be absolutely honest. I can't quite understand her, uh, just the way that she is. You know, she works very hard at work. Um, I don't know. She doesn't. I don't know. I would like to have a better relationship with my daughter, and I think it's really hard for me. I've really tried to read up about the ADHD, and I mean, it is quite funny because she'll say to me, "Mum, where do you think I got it from?"
Exactly.
And I think, am I
Yeah.
actually in denial? But she goes, "Oh my goodness, Mum, you're showing all the flags for it."
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, so
Yeah.
I think, but just in today's workshop, I hadn't really thought about it, but I would, I think she's happy enough in her own way,
Yep.
but I do worry about her. I've got to say that's an underlying thing where I just worry about her for various reasons, but I do. And then I've got my husband saying to me, "Look, you know, our daughter is 28 now.
Yep.
She's happy enough with her life, kind of thing." But deep down, I think, is she? Oh, I'm not sure. It's very difficult, isn't it? And I don't want to criticize my daughter because I don't think health wise she's great. But you see, I had that thing with my mum always saying to me, "Oh, you're looking a bit fat, you know, or you're too thin, or oh, haven't we got horrible thin hair, you know, not like other people's, all this kind of thing." And again,
Mm.
I don't think my mum ever really meant it, but It does, doesn't it? It upsets you. And then, not that I'd ever say that to my mum. And you
No.
see, I can't now say that to my daughter because I'm really worried for her health. She has put a lot of weight on, and and I'm, and I worry about her. But I
Then you
I can't say it outright to her. I just say to her, I am worried. I'm worried about your health, and a lot of the medication you're on, etc., is having, I think it's probably having side effects. I've looked at it, but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's her choice, and I realise that I can't control my children anymore.
Exactly, exactly,
It's the bottom
exactly.
line.
So it's about what working out what we can have control of and
It
what we
is, isn't
can't,
it?
and but then
Yeah,
equally building on our relationships with the people that we want to build relationships with, and
yeah,
it all comes down to connecting with them first and then having those deeper conversations. And
yeah,
once you do
cool.
that, you'll work forwards.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, girls. So moving forwards, now understanding the roots. Now, this isn't for discussion, this is for you. Trauma rocks at the bottom of your bucket often begin in childhood. So just tick what feels relevant to you. So these are the some of the ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, experiences that may have shaped your nervous system from an early age. So emotional abuse. Now, emotional abuse means not getting your emotional needs met. So it might not be abuse of, i.e., you're stupid, you're fit, you're this, you're that, but it might have been you never got praised. So you didn't have your emotional needs met. Yeah.
Mm.
Physical abuse, again, that is hitting and things like that. But equally, did you have physical touch in the normal, natural way? Because if you didn't, you might not feel you had your love and care needs met. Yeah. Sexual abuse is what it says, emotional neglect, physical neglect. So again, you could put your needs not being met under neglect, maybe. And even if they weren't intentional, if you feel that you didn't have those needs met, there will be an impact. Yeah. Was there any substance misuse at home? Was there mental illness at home? Was there bullying, coercive control, parental separation, divorce, household member in prison, or other, whatever other is? Pardon?
Sorry, I was just coughing there. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So this all came about from a study that was done from patients coming to a GP surgery, and they were noticing that there was a lot of ill health in people, but they didn't really understand why. And the study showed that if there was this adverse stuff going on in childhood, then it impacted long term and dictated long term health outcomes. So whatever you've ticked, it's not open for discussion because I'm not opening up any Pandora's boxes today. But I want you just to look at your list and just understand that all of that has shaped your nervous system over time. And the thing is, you survived it. You're here, and that takes strength to challenge it as well. And it's not about blame or shame or guilt. It's not about your parents or your past defining you. It's about making sense of your story so that you can begin a different and new chapter. That's what this is about. So if you are feeling a bit overwhelmed at the moment, then just take a few breaths and understand that it's okay. So, as I said, these adverse childhood experiences, it was a study that showed how early experiences affected long term health and well being. And this is an awareness tool, not a diagnosis tool. So when I did this, my score was 10 out of 10, right? Which basically means if you look at the actual study, I should have 20 years less in my life and I should have all of these health impacts, but I don't. And the reason being is because I put interventions in place to help me. The cleaner program, for example. So that enables me to work on something so that I'm always in control and so that I can always feel empowered. So when something comes along to give me a wobble, I go, right, what's this really all about? When I turn to emotional eating or I just want to get out and get away from someone, I'm like, right, what is this all about? I question it. Yeah. So, and that's my coping strategy. And that's how I deal with things. I'm like, right, okay, I'm feeling really angry now. What's that all about? Yeah. And I try and always understand the roots of it all. Yeah. And over time, so at a time when I had my breakdown, like you, I felt completely exhausted, didn't have the energy to keep analysing and going round and round in circles. But with the different therapies and with the different grounding tools that are in my toolkit, I'm now managing, living, surviving, and thriving. Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you and say every day is a thriving day because it just isn't. But humans and life is not like that anyway. So, whatever you came up with, you've survived that. And as I said, it took strength. And so, this is about understanding where we are, what may have caused us to be stuck right now, and equally, what can we do to move forwards? So, ladies, we're going to move to page 8 or slide 8. And we're just going to have a body awareness check-in. Yeah. What is your body telling you? So the body's, like Professor van der Kolk said, holds the score. It keeps the score. Our bodies hold on to our stories. Tuning into your physical sensations can help you understand your emotional state. Why has your pin come out of that hand grenade? Why is your stress bucket overflowing? Yeah. Whatever analogy suits you, I want you to pick up on it. And equally, if you've got another analogy, then let me know. So just looking at these questions, and then there's a human body on your booklet. I want you just to register where in your body does your stress, your tension, your tightness, your pain usually turn up for you. So mine usually turns up on my left-hand side, and it can be in my shoulder, my hip, my knee, or my ankle, but it's always on my left-hand side. It's really weird. So what emotions may you have had to suppress? So for me, masking, I've had to suppress sadness, anger, upset. I had to mask all of that, and I suppressed all of that. Then I want you to answer what triggers your stress response in the main. So for me, injustice of any kind will trigger me big time. How might your body be holding on to the emotions that you're suppressing? When does it show up the most? As I've said, mine turns up when I see injustice going on. And what do you need now that you didn't receive then, maybe? So some of you have already answered that, like Karlea, you need your counsellor back. What helps you feel safe in your body? And me, it's knowing that I've got my toolkit to hand, and also my friend Beverly that I can talk to. So this is just tuning in to your body and understanding yourself a bit more. And if there's any gaps, then that's where the work needs to happen.
Sorry, Chris, I had to answer the door. One of us was bound to get an Amazon delivery, weren't we,
Yeah,
through
that's
this?
fine. Yeah.
So can I can you just say your examples about how might your body still be holding on to this,
Yeah.
and when
So
does this show up most?
when the body there, yeah, just
Yeah.
circle where your stress comes. So my stress usually comes on my left hand side, in my shoulder,
Okay.
my hip, my knee, or my ankle. But
Okay.
equally, when I've had times of overwhelming stress, when I went through the justice system, for example, I felt my throat closing up a lot.
Right. Okay. Okay. So are we talking about, so we're not talking about, say, for example, with me, where I think, oh, I've got warts or whatever. Are we talking more about emotional, where you can feel it in your chest, or you've got butterflies in
Yeah,
your stomach, that
yeah,
sort of thing?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But equally, when I get cold sores, Domini, it's
Yeah.
either the sun that triggers them or my immune system's down.
Yeah.
So when I
Okay. Yeah.
get cold sores, I know that, oh my God, like what's going on?
Yeah.
It's telling me
Yeah.
something. And now I know when my throat starts to close up that there's something really significant going on in my body for that to happen.
Mm.
So I really
Yeah.
have to pay attention.
Can I ask you something, Chris? This last couple of weeks I've cut down massively on sugar. I've not,
Right.
usually I was daily snacking, like I'd be buying like the cinnamon buns from Tesco, the chocolate cookies that come in like the 5 pack, stuff like that. But I haven't been doing that. But I still have a digestive, like some digestives with tea. I'm being more intentional with it. But now I'm noticing, because I get acne anyway, but I've had a flare up like my chin area. And I know what you're probably gonna say, that it's probably purging, that I'm detoxified in some way, but I've not completely cut out sugar, because it's really hard to do that in
Yeah,
this
it
world.
is. Yeah.
But I have massively cut down, and I've stopped drinking coffee.
Yeah.
And that's been about, I think, a month, like 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks that I've not drunk any coffee. So I'm wondering if those two factors, and actually
Yeah.
eating a bit more healthy, like generally eating healthier, that would
Yeah.
make sense why I'm getting
Yeah.
here, and even on
Yeah.
my forehead
100%. You're
bit.
detoxifying,
Yeah.
literally. Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
it can feel like flu, as you know.
Mm. It's annoying. It's not nice. It's just, yeah. Had acne a lot growing up, so got like went on like medication years ago, and it cleared it all up. So when it starts to
Yeah.
flare up like this, it can really take on
Yeah.
a bit of a hit.
Yeah. It
It is
makes
what it
you
is, isn't it?
self-esteem, isn't it? I
Yeah,
think maybe if you reframe it and just look at it and go, okay, that's my body clearing it out.
yeah. It's just
It's a
that
good
fear of
thing.
it's gonna stay. It's that sort of,
Yeah.
that's the part where, and it's like, yeah,
But
it's just,
equally, if it does stay, then you know that something's going on with your hormones. So what's going on with the hormones?
mm, God,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be a hard,
So
yeah.
if we can get our amygdala safe and we can
Mm,
get the hormonal response on the even kill that it should be, and we're helping the inflammation within our body reduce because we're cleaning up our nutrition,
mm,
then any impact of that should only be temporary. If it
yeah,
isn't temporary, then you might have a hormonal balance going on. And what is that?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Yeah, yeah,
So just bear
definitely.
that in mind.
I think it's all right. I think it looks a little bit clearer today. So I'm sort of going day by day with good, like good sleep tonight, will,
Yeah.
keeping that
Yeah.
sort of a bit of a
Healing.
positive mindset
Yeah.
about it, that it's not permanent.
You know what used to help me with my acne was
Mm.
a Sudocrem.
Yeah, where is it?
A,
Somewhere
little
here.
a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit of Sudocrem because it just dries it out.
yeah. You should see me last night, because I put some moisturizer on. I didn't realize I because it was just like a moisturizer I don't usually use, and then I put pseudo cream on top, and I just looked at my
Right.
face. It was just like pure white. I didn't realize it for a moment, but yeah, yeah. I do it. I stand by pseudo cream.
Yeah,
It's great.
it works wonders. Now, have you got something for all of that, girls?
Mostly.
We're going to move on if you have.
Yeah.
And you can always come back and chat in the WhatsApp group as well, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, so your Calming 5 toolkit. So building yourself an SOS kit, a wellness kit, whatever you want to call it. Now, what would you call yours,
Sorry, I can hear
Carly?
you still. One second.
Yeah, no worries. Carly, what would you call yours? Is it an SOS kit? Is it a first aid kit? Is it a wellness kit? Or is it a Calming 5? What would you call yours?
A wellness kit, I think.
Okay, yeah. Domini, what would you call yours?
Yeah, wellness, absolutely.
Okay,
That just stands out for me.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Grace, what about you? What are you going to call yours?
Oh, I don't know. Sorry, I'm just quickly going to the toilet because I'm really close by, so I could hear.
It's fine. It's fine.
Oh. Wait,
Just
the name
write
of my
it down.
Okay.
Whatever word comes up for you. Yeah. So, breathing. Why is it important? It is important to do because it takes you out of your sympathetic nervous system, that fight, flight. Oh my God, something's going to happen. It takes you back into your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your right rest, digest, and your calm. So that is what breathing does. When you can't breathe because you're having a panic attack, you've got anxiety, you've got that overwhelming stress, then you get shallow breathing, your ribs clamp down, your body tightens up, and everything just feels like horrible. Yeah. But when you can learn to let that go and practice the breathing in times when you are not overly highly stressed, then you can call upon it as a tool. Okay. Now, this is what the science and everybody I've ever come across that's taught me on a course tells me. And then my daughter comes along and says, with her ADHD, but mum, I can't do that. That's the worst thing. Someone telling me to breathe is the worst thing that could ever be told to me. And I'm like, yeah, but this is physiology, this is biology. Yeah. But it seems to me that neurodivergent people can find this really hard to implement. I don't understand the reasons why.
Yeah.
I just know that's what I've been told.
Yeah, my daughter's exactly the same. That would be her worst case scenario, thinking about her breathing. Absolutely. She just can't do it. She can't do that kind of thing at all.
I struggle as well because I will try and everyone's telling me meditate, and I'll sit there and I'm like, right, focus on your breathing. And then I'm like 10 minutes into overthinking about something completely different. Then I'm like, oh, I'm meant to be meditating. And then I try and draw myself back, and it's just this constant cycle of yeah. So I totally get that.
I would say in that situation, we know that it does help physiologically, biologically. However, you might need a step before that. And with ADHD, there's something called RSJ, where it's rejective sensitivity disorder, RSD, sorry.
Yeah.
So basically, anyone telling you what to do, you're going to do the opposite. So you've got that battle, okay?
Yeah.
So you've almost got to say, well, I know this is good for me, yeah, and I'm going to try not to fight myself against it, and then maybe what do I need to do before? So one of these other grounding techniques might work, the 5-4-3-2-1 method. So your senses, looking at round the room at 5 things that you can see and naming them or writing them down. 4 things that you can touch, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, 1 thing that you can taste. Yeah. So that's another grounding technique that could help. And if you've got those things in your wellness kit, so something that you could see quickly, yeah, and then touch, hear, smell, taste, you just run yourself through that cycle. So it's taking you out of your emotional brain into your cognitive brain, yeah, and then you can have the conversation with yourself. There's another technique called pause and reset. So again, it's similar to technique number 2. You're just pausing and just noticing. Hold something solid and literally handle it whether it's a stone, a crystal, or a massage ball, whatever it is. And then you can, right, okay, I'm back in the room, sort of thing. Yeah. The other techniques are movement. So literally shaking off the stuck energy. So if you've been sitting around a long time, yeah, and you're feeling a certain way, just putting on some music that you know you love and literally just shaking yourself out. Or you could do the yoga stretching, the Pilates stretching, the meditation, the Tai Chi, if it's your cup of tea, or literally sticking your head out into a cold wind, sticking your head under cold water or warm water, just something that's going to change where you are right at this moment mentally. Yep. Or it could be something soothing, like a warm drink, a cold drink, a soft blanket, favorite music that I've already said. Do any of you have any other suggestions that does work for you?
For me, it's going out into my garden, because I've got to say it's the only time when I don't think of anything else. Because obviously, years ago, no one had heard of mindfulness. And when I'm in the garden, I think of nothing else apart from what I'm doing. I'm in the present, because it's quite hard, I think. I think the society that we live in, especially in Western society, our brains are it's just constant all the
Yeah.
time. There's always things going on. But when I go out there, I literally think of nothing apart from what I'm doing and just enjoying being outside for me.
Yeah. Yeah. No matter what weather for me. And that's why I needed my dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me think. I've been, because where I moved out, I was living with my brother for a little while, and I've got a flatmate now, and with the new renters laws in place, you can ask to have an animal and they can't
Yeah, you
reject
can.
you on. And I've been back and forth in it, because I'm on the ground floor, but I'm right near a sort of cul-de-sac-y little road. So I'm sort of debating, because we've always had outdoor cats, but I'm debating, like, do I get a cat that I'd have indoors? Cats are just wonderful. When I grew up with cats, I think they were just like a solid, always, always have such a good connection with cats. I just love them. So I'm just sort of I don't know if I get a cat, and I don't know. Yeah, just made me think about that.
Yeah, just think about it. Put it down on your calming toolkit.
It'd be lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I have
My
3
puppy at the moment.
cats.
Sorry, Karlea.
Sorry.
You've got 3
I
cats.
3 cats, yeah. And like I've got a ginger one that he won't hug you during the day, but at night time, it's like he comes to sit and he like, because obviously I don't sleep very well, but he's very soothing. He'll come and lay with me and stuff like, and it's just so calming.
Yeah.
Like, and just watching them, like you say, they do go outside, so they all like be in my garden, and they like him just loving life and just like rolling in the grass, and like that is quite soothing for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's writing down what works for you and what you may need to do more of, what may you need to see more of. Yeah. So when my dog died in mid-February, that my grounding was gone.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even realize. So I made myself overwork. I overworked to fill the void. And now I've got a puppy, which is great, but she's in that biting mode. So we have lovely, nice moments of cuddles, and then it's like velociraptors come out and your ankles and your legs are gone. Yeah. So those moments I don't enjoy as much, but it's all part of the commitment to having a puppy.
Yeah.
So I keep telling myself.
Oh, bless.
So, girls, out of this Calming 5 toolkit and your wellness kit that you're going to get together if you haven't got one, which tool feels most helpful for you? What will you use this week? And what do you want to notice when you try it? Because if you think it might help, you need to feel a certain thing. And if you don't feel that thing, then you need to find something else, because it needs to help you. It can't just be something that, oh, well, Chris mentioned that and I should try it, but it doesn't really help. It's got to help you.
Oh, yeah, let me Hmm.
So again, I'm probably going to ask you to put that in the WhatsApp group later so that we can discuss it in more detail if you don't mind. So what tool feels most helpful for you? When will you use it this week? So I need to ground myself at least a couple of times a week. And I don't even think about it now. It's just, it happens. And I just do it because that is just what should happen. And what do you notice when you try it? So for me, it's literally calming me down and centering me and bringing me back to perspective. Yeah. So we was going to have another break, but we are running seriously behind because I love chatting and I love hearing from you all. Now we're turning to page 10 in your book, and it's another rating of 1 to 10. Which area do you think needs your attention the most? Now, the cleaner framework, which you've all experienced in different ways. The C is about clear, conscious mindset. What do you want for yourself next week, in a month, 3 months' time, 5 years' time? Whatever you think you need to have right now. Rate it 1 to 10, i.e., do you have a clear mindset about it or not? As simple as that. So don't overthink it. If you think you haven't got a clear mindset about the next step, it's a 1 or a 2. If you feel you have got clarity around what it is you need next, it could be a 7 or 8 or even a 10. Just all depends. The lifestyle choices is about your daily habits, your routines, and your rhythms. Yeah. What do you do on a daily basis that is going to help you move towards what you want or what you need? So what do you do on a daily basis? So for me, something that comes up really easy for me is Grace wanting to go swimming. So she's got a goal, a mindset about doing the swimming because it's going to make us set her up for the day. Is she really wanting to do it 8, 9, 10, or is it just an idea that she might want to do? Maybe it'd be a 3 or 4. Yeah. And the daily habit will be, well, I need to do it every day. So if my goal is swimming and I feel it's going to be at 9, then I know that I've got to do it at least 3 times a week, and I want it to be a daily habit, and I'm going to be committed to that. So I'm going to be about 7, 8, or 9. So it just all depends. So you might have a clear idea, but it's not a daily habit yet. So it might be a 1. So this is how we're going to use this tool. Now, we know that if we have a goal or an intention in mind, and if we can make our daily habits align with what we say we want, then we know that our hormones and our physical health will have a good impact by doing these things. But equally, if we're not sure, if we're not doing it on a daily basis, or if we haven't got a routine around it, like good sleep, for example. So if we don't have a bedtime routine and sleep is impacted, then our hormones, we know, are going to be impacted. Yeah. Also, nutrition. If we're not nourishing our body, if we're not eating what we need, just eating what we want, so i.e. emotional eating, the good eating, optimal nourishment, then we know that it's going to impact the endocrine system and everything else. So where is your nutrition at the moment? Is it shocking? Chocolate, cakes, biscuits, coffee, alcohol, or is it good fats, good carbs, good protein? Where are you on that scale of 1 to 10? Now, alignment here means your posture. So if you're lying around a lot of the time, then your posture is going to be impacted. If you sit for too long, your posture is going to be impacted. If you're highly stressed and overwhelmed, Your muscles are going to be all tight and you might be having a pain in your neck or wherever the pain is. Yeah. So where on the scale of 1 to 10 is your posture? How much exercise are you doing on a daily basis or not? How much energy do you have or not? Rest and relaxation, recovery, sleep, downtime. Is this a 1? Is it a 5? Is it a 10? Or does it all depend on whether you're talking about sleep or downtime? So rating this overall will just give you a bigger picture of where your well-being is at the moment. So the 7 pillars of cleaner: mindset, lifestyle choices, hormonal system, posture, alignment, nutrition, exercise, rest, regeneration, relaxation. These are 7 areas that together make up your whole well-being. So we're just rating on this page what is showing up for you. Where are you really struggling the most? 10 means you're thriving and 1 means you're not. Have you all got a score for each of those things?
Yeah.
And if you haven't, you can always come back to it and share it in the group later. So just bringing that little exercise activity together. On page 11, this model is my cleaner program. And basically it shows you that all of those pillars interconnect, overlap, interrelate. And one positive step in one of them is going to help you or have a ripple effect on all of the others. So from your ratings that you've given, out of the 7 pillars, have any of you rated any of them a number 1, 2, or 3? Is there only 1 pillar or is there 2 or 3 pillars with the same rating? So we really want to hone in on the pillar that needs the most work. So have you got an intention, a goal? If it's a 1, then that is where you need to put your energy going forward in the next 7 days, for example. So if you've got 2 or 3 that may be a 1 or a 2, you then just need to pick one of the pillars where you feel you can make a change, a stepped change into that pillar. The easiest one that's going to help you move forwards. Because we know that if we just pick one of these pillars and we make a change in one of them, it's going to help us with all of them over time. So, Karlea, what are you going to pick for you?
I think rest and relaxation, because
Okay.
I think not sleeping
Yeah.
makes everything a lot worse.
Yes, it does. Yeah, sleep is so underrated.
Yeah.
But equally, we don't want the battle that Domini described. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you are waking up, it's like, well, okay, well, why am I waking up? And you could always go back and read your book on the sleep cycle. And Domini, when you get the book that I'm going to send on to you all, it's because it's got the same information in it. It's just been written from a different perspective, but it's got the same information in it. Then you can look at how to implement the best sleep cycle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Domini, what pillar stands out for you that needs maybe the most work, or is the easiest one to actually look at first?
Definitely the rest and relaxation with the sleeping, because I do realise that's the core, really. If you're not getting a good rest, you're going to feel tired. And then, as Carly says, everything seems so much worse because you feel tired.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm going to go out and get this eye cream stuff today for me to put into my
Okay,
eyes
good.
at night. I
Yeah.
think it will really
Help.
help. I think that's
Yeah.
causing the major issue for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So anything where there's dryness is usually something to do with hormonal balance, and when our
Okay.
hormones are declining, okay.
Yeah.
I have issues with itchiness, and I'm just going to leave it
Okay.
there, yeah. And it
Yeah.
drives me to distraction. So anything that causes you something, then
Yeah.
you need to go and sort it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So sorry, Grace, what pillar is the most challenging one for you that you're going to work on?
I'd say I think the
Yeah,
base always has to be the rest, doesn't it? It has to be that I'm sleeping and getting a good.
it does, but if it's really challenging you for you at the moment,
I think
what else?
I think
Yeah,
the exercise part and just having that in the morning and then feeling like the way it will make me feel, feeling like I've accomplished something because it's something I really, really want to do and have done for
yeah,
a long time. But also just, I think feeling naturally more tired out by the end of
yeah,
the day when it gets to the evening, that I can put down certain things and just focus, get rid of the damn phone and distractions like that. And that's sort of my plan at the moment, is
yeah.
decreasing that too, because I think it plays into
Yeah,
you
it
know
does. It
yeah
plays into the doom and the anxiety that's going on in the world. Yeah. And we've
yeah
got no control over that. All we can do is keep our own brains safe
mm,
and do the best for us. And then everybody benefits around us.
yeah
Yeah.
this is yeah, but it
Okay.
feels achievable like this when you
It's
really
got,
look at it. It
yeah,
really makes sense. It just fits, doesn't it? It's
yeah,
good.
yeah. So you've got to pick on something that is going to be easy enough for you to do.
Mm,
And then once you've made that the habit, then you can work on something different.
mm,
Yeah. So it's not about trying to change everything at once, because otherwise your stress bucket just gets overwhelmed. The alarm system goes off, and then you're back into inner critic
mm,
mode. You're back into hormonal cascade, which we don't want. And you're into blah, 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 blah. You're back in the
mm,
cycle. So to break the cycle, we need to work on one thing that we feel we can take on at this moment in time. Yeah. And
mm.
if you're so overwhelmed that you're just trying to put the pin back in the hand grenade, you literally have got to find that grounding technique that works for you and work on that. Yeah. That might be the first thing that you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So rebuilding your Ming jar. Your next slide, page 12, I think it is.
Book.
Is it?
Yeah.
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 So rebuilding you from the pillars. So this is you've identified the pillar that needs the most attention for you right at this moment in time. It might not be the only pillar, but it's the pillar that you need to focus in on.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we rebuild? Now in Japanese culture, they've got this thing called kintsugi. How do you pronounce that, girls? I don't know. Kintsugi
Sugi, I think that's right.
is the art of repairing broken pottery with gold, making it more beautiful for having been broken. So, your story or your lived experiences, they're not flaws of your character. They are things that have happened to you. There is an impact, and it's part of what makes you the person you are today. Yeah. So, we can't change that, but what we can change is the impact it's having on us so that we can feel safe and able to move forwards. So, going on what we've just discussed, what piece of your jar feels most broken right now? And I think all three of you said sleep.
Yeah.
Karlea, I know yours is sleep, but I also think the grounding technique needs to be really strongly implemented
Mm-hmm.
in your life as well. What part of your story are you ready to reclaim or deal with? It's just a rhetorical question. What gold could you pour into that crack to strengthen and to empower you rather than to fracture it further? What cleaner pillar could support your rebuilding? And all of you have said sleep at the moment, that rest and regeneration, but equally, if it is the alarm system that needs to be addressed first, then that isn't where the attention needs to go. So I just want you to write down there, if you can, with the information you have, answers to those questions. But equally, if you don't have an answer, just put a question mark and it will come later. And if it doesn't come later, then you can ask in the group for me to go over something. Because sometimes there's so much information coming at you, you can't decipher it at the moment because you've already had your load that you can deal with. But once that load has percolated and settled, then you can deal with some more information. So do come back and ask the questions. Yeah? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've already heard from some of you the small piece to begin rebuilding this week, and it might be reading the chapter on sleep. It might be just putting yourself a sleep routine in place. It might be moving your phone out of your bedroom with the alarm on, but let the alarm go off outside your bedroom. Yeah. It can be really simple, tangible things. And it might just be the moving of the phone outside the bedroom first.
Okay.
Because you might wake up all of the time expecting the phone to go off, tune into it. So you might need to move some music into your bedroom and move the phone out of the bedroom. Okay. So you can put some music on, for example. Yeah. There's different ways of doing things, but it's got to be suitable for what you want. I can't tell you, because if I tell you, then you who have got ADHD and RSD is going, I'm not doing that. Self-sabotage. It's got to come from you. So you are not starting from scratch, ladies. It might feel like it. You're starting from experience and strength and awareness. Yeah. And everything you do from now on is about changing patterns. The patterns that you found yourself stuck with, we want to challenge them, we want to break them, and we want to move forwards. So this was a new activity I came up with for this last group, but it was basically just bringing everything together from the 7 pillars that we went through on the 8-week course, but equally it's all in your book. So Domini, when you get the book, it's all in there anyway, yeah? Okay. So once you've had a chance to have a little gander at it and a little read of it, then you can just come back with any questions, because it goes into everything in a lot of detail. And as Grace has already said, it sat in my folder for a very, very long time, but I've just got it out again. But that, and I think, Karlea, didn't you send me a message? No, it wasn't you. It was Michaela sent me a message, and she goes, thank you for reminding me about the book. I've gone back to it and I've been able to do da, 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 da. So sometimes we just forget that we've got the tools there, and we forget that we can go and access that at any time. Yeah. Okay. So this is in your booklet, and basically it's about just making one change in one of the pillars, seeing the response, and then keep implementing it. If it brings you a benefit, you carry on with it. If it doesn't bring you a benefit, then you ditch it and you find another pillar and work on that instead. So there's always an empowerment part of this, because you can always tap into something. Yeah. What one small thing can I do for myself today? That's where we're coming from. So as I said, it's just a nice little graphic that I put together to help you all see how it all fits. Yeah. And it's not about Domini doing everything to perfection, doing it all at once. All right.
Yes.
This is a foundation. It's about the journey of the 1,000 miles begins with that single step. And you've already taken it today by turning up and listening and working on some of challenging stuff. Right. So your next steps, your 7-day plan. One thing I will focus on, when I will do it, what might get in my way, what support do I need? So this week you're focusing in on one thing, small, specific, and achievable. It might be using a breathing tool every morning or evening. It might be going for a 10-minute walk. It might be drinking one more glass of water. Whatever it is, make it small enough that you can't say no to it, or some RSD can't kick in and you self-sabotage because you know you're doing this for your own well-being. So every step that you do take forwards and that you keep repeating and implementing is evidence that you're breaking the cycle. So you need to write it down, you need to record it, and you need to be accountable for it. So after this group, sometime during the day, if you can write in our WhatsApp group what it is, the one thing that you're going to do this week, then I can check in with you every single day and make sure you've done it. Because that's who I am. That is what I do. So, have you got something? There's loads you could do, but have you got one thing?
Yes.
Because it's the process of this one thing that's going to lead you to implementing other things. It's a process. And you all know that because you've all worked with me. You've all heard it before. So just reflecting on everything you've heard today, what stood out most for you? Maybe something that has refreshed your mind, something you've heard from somebody within our group. What stood out most for you today? Or are you so overwhelmed that you just can't think? Karlea, let's start with you. What stood out most for you today, do you think?
I'm a bit mixed. Like you say, a lot has come up. I do feel a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And like you say, hearing each other's stories and just like little bits has brought up a lot for me. But it's just made it clearer that I really need to go back to therapy. Like I knew
Yeah.
that anyway, but just
Yeah.
that clarity of that was the right thing for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
That's what you
know,
need right now, isn't it?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. That's what's gonna help push me into be able to do other
Something.
things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And just I know I just said about like rest and relaxation, but now I'm questioning, is that the right step? It's probably
It's a step you need, but is it right now?
yeah, because I've never slept properly my whole life, like from even as
Yeah.
a kid. So now I'm like, oh, maybe that's too big of a step
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now I'm like debating, like, do I need to rethink that point?
Okay, let me break it down for you. So it doesn't mean you have to get your sleep sorted out in one night. Okay. What
Yeah,
it
I know.
means is, how
Yeah.
do I get myself down regulated for sleep? Can I have a hot bath? Do I need a shower? Do I need to put cream on? Do I need to do 5 minutes of breathing? Do I need to listen to what will help you down regulate to get ready? So it can be part of a process rather than a whole process.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not drinking coffee after 12 o'clock midday, for example, because that's going to keep you awake. Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever is causing you not to sleep, and it could be nightmares, flashbacks, and all the rest of that's counselling, but what else is going on? But equally, what can I take out of my stress bucket and what can I put into it that's going to help me? So for me, a hot bath will help bring me down. Yeah. Going for a little walk will help calm me down. Having a cuddle with my pup when she's not biting, it's those little things that become part of the process that you can work on.
Yeah.
Journaling, maybe. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
I have to dump everything out of my brain just out so that I can sleep, because otherwise my brain's going rather than if I just dump it all out and I go, right now, that's it, that's staying there till tomorrow, then I can sleep better.
Yeah.
So it doesn't need to be a whole process, but it could be part of what one thing can I do to help.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
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 So it can be that small, but just share it in the group so we can keep you accountable and then we can reflect back.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Domini, what stood out most for you today and what is clearer now for you?
I think what's clearer now for me is the people pleasing, you know. So I think I said at the beginning, I've heard of fight, flight, and freeze, but the people pleasing and
The fawning.
yeah, it's the fawning. I've always done it, and as I said earlier, I think I'm going to really try now to 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 say if I haven't got time to do something, I'll just say, look, I'll get back to you tomorrow, or I can look at that next week, or whatever it is, because I'm just so yeah, I just do it all the time automatically, and people always look to me to fix things for them. So,
Yeah.
again, this is all part of the masking. Everybody thinks I've got it all together, that I'm really friendly and outgoing and everything looks really perfect. And, oh, Domini knows about this, or I can ask her about this. And I think, and I love helping people, but again, it's overwhelming. I think it's just a matter of saying, I will help you, but I can't
But
do it
this
right
time,
now.
this day,
Yeah, I
exactly.
can't do it today. And not feel,
Boundaries.
yeah, boundaries, not feel that's a bad thing,
Yeah.
because
It's not a bad thing.
it's not. And if somebody did it to me, if they said, oh, can I get back to you in a couple of days?
Yeah.
I think that was absolutely acceptable. So I
Yeah.
have to think the same for myself.
100%. Give to yourself what you would give to others.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Grace, what stood out for you most and what may feel clearer now?
think I think it's a constant reminder of always having an agency over something. There's always something I can do. And just holding that. Maybe I was thinking to put stuff up here because I put my calendar up there. So I want to put some reminders of that up there. And maybe even having like a little, when I feel like a bit stuck or I can just look to that to bring me out. Like, even just I've really enjoyed cleaning recently as well. Just getting up and tidying my room feels good. I know, but I do. I just enjoy cleaning my space. It's nice. I think doing something that adult me needs to do brings me out
Yeah.
of those states. Oh, it looks really messy in the back, but anyway.
No, don't worry, it's fine.
Yeah. And that is being in spaces with other people and exploring the stuff and expressing it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all the same.
Yeah.
We've just got different challenges. We're at different stages and we just need whatever help and support we need right now, whether it comes from us or other people, in order for us to feel safe, stable, empowered, and then we can move forwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm feeling a bit restless, so if we can finish,
Yeah, we are
up soon,
finishing. Don't
'cause
worry, we
I'm
are
like,
finishing.
no, I
Yeah,
really want to move.
yeah,
I'm going to put
yeah.
some music on after and just get some
Fabulous.
energy
That's what
out.
I want to
Yeah.
hear. All right, girls, anything, put it in the group and I'll answer you, all right? But thank you for turning up
Thank
today and
you.
thank you for all your sharing, all right? Stay
Thank you.
safe. Go and
Thank
do
you.
something different.
And it's a
Move.
nice
Yeah, I
day
mean,
until later
It
anyway.
is.
It's going to
Let
rain
me
this
just,
evening. So enjoy the
um,
sunshine for now.
exactly. Stop recording. Yes.